Chapter 1089. Forbidden Area Passageway. This was a passageway that was filled with endless temptation. Many living beings had died here, leaving behind many antiques that were still intact. Only a small number of them were damaged. When the young beings saw these antiques, it was hard for them to control themselves. Obtaining these antiques could increase their battle strength or obtain an inheritance. It was even possible for them to reach the heavens in a single step. These living beings couldn't resist the temptation and paid the price for it. It was a pity that so many young beings with unlimited potential had died here. A small number of living beings were more rational, especially the young humans. They were more rational than the other living beings and could control their inner desires to see what was at the end of the passageway. These young beings all had their own thoughts and disregarded life and death. Perhaps they were confident enough to get out of here alive. Sue Bewley of the Dragon Tiger sect was one of the human sky prides who had escaped from here. He had obtained an antique, but unexpectedly, the skeletons there revived and exploded with terrifying power. He had a death substitute talisman and used his fake body as a substitute. He was lucky enough to escape from the passageway. He had also obtained that antique, which made the other sky prides extremely envious. Even if that antique wasn't a divine artifact, it could be close to it. Many living beings of the other races were thinking about it. They could attack Sue Bewley at any time to obtain that antique. Yang Wu, Ziyu, and Sun Do didn't advance recklessly. The battle ahead was extremely intense and could affect them at any time. They might as well discuss a strategy before moving forward. There are sacred and divine artifacts here. We can't fight for them casually. Even if there is something we want, we can't be impulsive. You guys have seen it. Whoever touches the things here, the skeletons there will explode with extremely powerful battle strength. It's not something we can block easily. I suggest we choose those sacred artifacts that aren't of a high level. We should be able to fight for them. Let's not take the divine artifacts for now. Otherwise we will all die. Yang Wu transmitted to the two of them. Divine artifacts are the good stuff. Why would we want those sacred artifacts? The skinny monkey didn't think much of it. They are good stuff, but we have to be alive to take them. Yang Wu replied. The skinny monkey-like man opened his palm and took out a lightning item. I just took this from the Thunderwing tribe. It should be a lightning item. I don't have any use for it, so why don't I give it to sister-in-law? Perhaps it will be useful for emergencies. Yang Wu wasn't polite. He took it and looked at it. Then, he handed it to Yu and said, Yu, take a look at this lightning item. I can't see its origin. It was a small flag that was covered in lightning patterns. It was slightly bigger than a palm and was made of a special material. When one held it, they would feel waves of electricity. It looked like a small ornament and did not seem to have any great use. Purple Yu held it in her hand and looked at it. She revealed a look of pleasant surprise and said, This might be the thunder summoning flag. This is a great killing flag. Once energy is injected into the flag, it can attract terrifying heavenly lightning and erupt with extremely powerful energy. At the very least, it's a top-tier saint weapon. It won't be difficult for it to rank in the saint weapon rankings. With that, she injected her lightning energy into the small flag. The small flag instantly grew. Bursts of lightning coiled around it like snakes. Purple light flickered and it was filled with a domineering aura. It really is the thunder-summoning flag, Purple Yu exclaimed. Then, she withdrew her energy and handed it back to the skinny monkey-like man. She said, This thunder-summoning flag is too precious. You stole it. I can't take it. Sister-in-law, you're slapping my face. How can I take it back? It'd be strange if Big Brother didn't beat me to death. The skinny monkey-like man hurriedly refused. The skinny monkey-like man knew that Yang Wu had a soft spot for Purple Yu. Naturally, he had to maintain enough respect for her. Without his big brother, he wouldn't be where he was today. Even if his big brother took everything away from him, he wouldn't mind at all. Take it. Otherwise, this fellow won't be able to sleep in the future. Moreover, it might come in handy later. Yang Wu didn't stand on ceremony with the skinny monkey-like man. He persuaded Purple Yu to take it. Then, he pointed out some details to the other two before deciding to continue. There were many antiques and corpses here. As long as they didn't touch anything here, they would be safe. The only problem was how to avoid the battle ahead and reach the depth. The three of them formed a triangle with Yang Wu leading the way. As they moved forward quickly, they searched for holy objects that could be obtained. Most of the holy objects in the periphery were holy objects. Only when they went deeper would they find godly objects. Soon, Yang Wu and the other two locked onto a jade seal left behind by a dead spirit demon. The spirit demon's corpse wasn't complete. Even if it was revived, its battle strength wouldn't be much. Therefore, the three of them worked together to retrieve the jade seal. When they touched the jade seal, the spirit demon's corpse indeed revived. Its bony claws grabbed at the skinny monkey-like man. Yang Wu and Purple Yu cooperated and attacked together. Another thunder and electromagnetic field appeared and blasted the spirit demon's corpse into powder. This spirit demon's corpse was a top-tier demon saint. Its bones were very hard. Yang Wu and Purple Yu were both clawed. A few cracks appeared on Yang Wu's saint robe, while Purple Yu's dreamy wedding dress was fine. If it had been a lower-level saint robe, the claw would have torn the two of them in half. Just like that, they obtained a second holy object. Seeing this scene, the eyes of many creatures became burning hot. However, they still suppressed their impulses and didn't rush down. Instead, they planned to observe for a while longer to see if there was really a chance of obtaining these holy objects. Yang Wu and the other two continued to move forward. Yang Wu had his eyes on an interspatial ring left behind by a human. Those who could die here were all overlords of a region. Their interspatial rings must be rich and valuable. In addition, there was a combat weapon beside the human skeleton. Although it was broken, it still couldn't hide its former sharpness. After the three of them judged that the human skeleton hadn't reached the heavenly arrival realm, they worked together again. Skinny monkey-like man went to retrieve the interspatial ring and the combat weapon, while Yang Wu and Purple Yu attacked the skeleton. When the human skeleton woke up, a soaring fighting spirit filled the air. The awe-inspiring killing intent was enough to make one's heart tremble. This person must have been a great killing saint when he was alive. The thunder and electromagnetic field formed by Yang Wu and Purple Yu couldn't disperse the skeleton on the spot. Both of them unleashed their strongest power to tangle with the skeleton, but they still suffered heavy injuries. Boundless fighting spirit attacked their souls and suppressed their fighting strength. Fortunately, Yang Wu's ice wing blade could shoot out invisibly and hit the location where the skeleton was injured. As a result, the skeleton collapsed and the crisis was successfully resolved. Others couldn't see the battle in the thunder and electromagnetic field, but the shocking fighting spirit that erupted made many creatures feel a chill in their hearts. They felt that Yang Wu and Purple Yu were probably doomed. When Yang Wu and Purple Yu were able to appear in front of the creatures again alive, they were all stunned. Weren't the skeletons here very powerful? The lowest level of skeletons should be able to kill creatures of the intermediate saint realm. Why were Yang Wu and Purple Yu still alive and well? Could the two of them be comparable to creatures of the intermediate saint realm when they joined forces? Could they even resist the attacks of those of the advanced saint realm? Finally, some creatures couldn't hold back anymore. They took out their trump cards and led their companions down the tunnel. They followed Yang Wu, Purple Yu, and Sun Do and worked together to deal with the skeletons. They hoped to bring out some holy or godly items. In the end, these creatures were too greedy. They had their eyes on the demigod item. As soon as they touched the demigod item, they were killed by the power of the skeleton. Instantly, the other creatures' fantasies were extinguished. Yang Wu and the other two continued to go deeper. They worked together and obtained two more ancient items. They had a great harvest, but Yang Wu also paid a great price. The saint robe on his body was almost cracked. Purple you had to stop Yang Wu from collecting more ancient items in case they encountered danger later. Yang Wu understood the reason. He stopped before going too far. He took the other two with him, and sped up to go deeper. At this time, he found other creatures rushing out. Although they were seriously injured, they seemed to have obtained what they wanted. Yang Wu didn't plan to stop them. The broken blade in his body was reacting violently. Based on the reaction given by the broken blade, he locked onto a corner of the tunnel's boundary. There was a broken weapon embedded in the boundary wall. It was obviously one with the broken blade in his body. Next to the broken blade embedded in the boundary wall were two crooked skeletons. One belonged to a human, and the other belonged to a foreign race. They had both died in a fight. The broken blade was stuck between them. If they wanted to take the broken blade, they would definitely disturb these two skeletons. Judging from the color of their bones, they definitely belonged to the reaching heaven realm. Holy bones were bright and tough, while divine bones were like jade. There was a big difference between the skeletons of creatures of these two levels. This is a reaching heaven realm item. Yang Wu couldn't help but exclaim. Brother, are you interested in them? The skinny monkey asked. Without waiting for Yang Wu to reply, a foreign race's voice sounded. Get out of here. These are the remains of my race. You don't have the right to touch them. Yang Wu turned his head to look. He discovered that it was a few creatures from the corpse race. The corpse race was a huge race. They lived underground for a long time, absorbing corpse chi to survive. Their ancestors were overlord-level creatures. They were unwilling to die after exhausting their lifespan, so they buried themselves in the 5 elements divine soil. They received the blessings of the heavens and lived a new life in a different way, becoming the overlord of the corpse race. There were countless skeletons here. To the corpse race, this was definitely a great place to raise corpses. However, this place might contain an indescribable mystery. They didn't dare to rashly collect the skeletons here. That was simply courting death. The bodies of the corpse race in front of them were blue. They were young creatures from the corpse race. Their bodies were emitting corpse chi and corpse poison. No one wanted to get close to them. Unlucky thing. Why don't you say that the skeletons here are the remains of your race? The skinny monkey's temper wasn't good. He directly scolded the other party. Don't mind them. Let's continue. Yang Wu pulled the skinny monkey and said, Since the corpse race wanted to seize the skeletons, then let them explore the waters first. You dare to scold us? You still want to leave? It's too late. Chapter 1090. The corpse race was a race that did not allow strangers to get close to them. If they provoked such a race, perhaps their ancestral graves would be taken over by them and their ancestors would become part of the corpse race. The skinny monkey's words were very aggressive and angered the corpse race. The atmosphere between the two sides became tense. The skinny monkey glared at the corpse race and shouted, You unlucky things still dare to be arrogant. Do you believe that old sun won't let you die again? TSK, if you have the ability, then come at me. A corpse race creature said with a hoarse voice. Immediately after, a blue-green energy ball condensed in his hand. Waves of decaying gas filled the air. Corpse poison ball. Corpse poison gas and death chi were both incomparably evil gases. If anyone came in contact with them, their life would definitely be greatly corroded. Moreover, the corpse poison was extremely difficult to remove. What do you want? Yang Wu did not give the skinny monkey a chance to provoke them again. Instead, he asked the other party. Nothing. Go and bring those 2 corpses over for us. The corpse race creature sneered. The corpse race had gained intelligence and was reborn. Their intelligence was not inferior to the human race. They did not want to directly come in contact with those powerful corpses. They planned to use Yang Wu's group to exhaust them. Then, it would be easier to control them. Big brother, let me take care of them. Why are you talking so much nonsense with them? The skinny monkey said angrily. In these years, his strength had increased greatly. His temper had also grown. If he did not see eye to eye with someone, he would start a fight. This was all influenced by Sun Qian. Yang Wu thought for a moment and said, "Ignore them. Let's go." "You want to leave so easily? You can go die." The corpse race creature did not want to let them go. He roared and threw the corpse poison ball at them. "You need to be taught a lesson." The skinny monkey roared and sent out a fire palm. Golden flames enveloped the corpse poison ball. Pung! After the corpse poison ball came in contact with the skinny monkey's golden fire palm, it did not have time to spread before it was burned by the golden flames. It did not pose any threat at all. The skinny monkey was angry. He sent out another palm. Powerful golden flames enveloped the corpse race creatures and forced them to retreat. "Skinny monkey, come back. Don't bother with them." Yang Wu saw that Skinny Monkey was really angry, and couldn't help but call him back. The skinny monkey-like man still didn't want to go against Yang Wu's words. He stopped attacking and shouted at the few corpses, "If you want to pick a soft persimmon, open your eyes wide and look carefully. Don't foolishly come here to die, you unlucky things." The creatures of the corpse race were furious. When had they ever been looked down upon by other creatures? They never thought that this human would humiliate them like this. They really wanted to attack again, but they were afraid of that golden flame, so they could only swallow their anger. "I'll take control of the god corpses here later. I want them to die without a burial ground," a corpse race creature said resentfully. "That's right, we must kill them and refine them into corpses," another corpse clan creature said. Shou-ho retreated to Yang Wu's side and asked, "Big brother, why don't you let me deal with those unlucky things? It'll just take a little effort, it won't take much effort." Yang Wu transmitted his voice, "Keeping them alive will be of great use. You'll know in a bit." Shou-ho saw that Yang Wu had a card up his sleeve, so he didn't press him any further. The three of them advanced once again, but this time they slowed down. The collision ahead was too intense, and if they rushed over now, they would only be caught in the crossfire. The three of them looked at the battle ahead. It seemed like someone had touched a divine-level object and met with a calamity. Quite a few top-level creatures were already feeling apprehensive. The deeper they went, the more divine corpses they saw. Moreover, the divine-level aura was giving them too much pressure. They might as well snatch some holy objects from the periphery and leave. It was better than dying inside. With this thought, the creatures from before began to choose what they wanted. They wanted to see if they could follow Yang Wu's group and snatch a few holy objects. Sure enough, the powerful creatures of the Jade Emperor race saw a piece of divine jade. They fought over it, and relying on their powerful trump cards, they really managed to snatch the divine jade. However, one of the creatures was slapped half to death and almost lost his little life. Fortunately, their life force was extremely tenacious, and their bodies quickly recovered. Jin Qiu, who entered first, walked at the very front. He didn't look around, but when he couldn't resist the aura at the front, he actually took out a golden coffin and jumped into it to continue forward. Unfortunately, his golden coffin still couldn't help him reach the end, but it was enough for him. He took out a broken golden bowl that looked like a monk's alms bowl. After he poured his power into it, an extremely powerful force was released, sucking in the strands of aura from the stone door. The golden alms bowl shone brightly, and the suction force was astonishing. It caused a huge commotion, and the surrounding divine corpses were all affected. A terrifying divine power bombarded him. It was also at this time that a strand of power came from behind the stone door towards the golden alms bowl. Jin Qiu was overjoyed. He used the broken bowl to collect this strand of power and quickly retreated into the golden coffin. Bang bang! Terrifying divine power enveloped the golden coffin, causing cracks to appear on it. However, it couldn't completely destroy the golden coffin. The golden coffin quickly retreated, but the divine corpse's surging power was still crazily attacking it. The creatures who rushed in were all frightened and they all ran away. "Damn it, who touched so many divine corpses?" a creature cursed angrily. "What did that monk get?" another creature asked curiously. The golden coffin quickly retreated, and the creatures in the tunnel also quickly retreated. Fortunately, the divine power didn't chase after it, allowing the golden coffin to leave the tunnel. After the golden coffin left, the tunnel returned to normal. Now, all the creatures were in an uproar. Someone had obtained the divine item in the tunnel, and it might even be the most precious divine item. When the golden coffin appeared, the creatures outside attacked it without hesitation. Their attacks landed on the golden coffin, but they couldn't break its defense at all. The golden coffin flew towards them, and they couldn't escape. They were directly hit to death. Then, all the creatures watched as the golden coffin rose up. The creatures in the tunnel became envious. Someone had obtained the divine item in the tunnel, which meant that they also had a chance. However, they felt the terrifying divine power just now. Even a heaven-reaching realm creature would be killed, so they didn't have the confidence to withstand those attacks. Some creatures didn't believe in heresy, and took out top-tier divine items to obtain the divine item, but the result was a complete tragedy. No matter what kind of creature it was easy to die from greed. Some creatures from the Devil Clan also used their own abilities to obtain a demigod-level demonic creature from the Devil Clan, and successfully left. The seven-tailed fox king of the Spirit Demon Clan was even more powerful. She paid the price of 2 tails to obtain a complete divine item, and she might even have obtained a mysterious inheritance. It caused a huge commotion, and it wasn't any weaker than the golden coffin. In the Fox Clan, the price of 1 tail was 1 life, and 2 tails meant 2 lives. In other words, the seven-tailed fox king used 2 lives to exchange for what she needed. After that, Jiang Ping, the flower thief, also had a great harvest. This guy was definitely the biggest dark horse in the human race. In the past, people had only heard of his romantic deeds, but no one took him seriously. Who would have thought that this guy could not only reach the top of the Heavenly Dragon list, but also obtain an amazing antique here? Everyone saw Jiang Ping take a hit from the god's skeleton without dying. Furthermore, he escaped from this place at an extremely fast speed. He even left behind an extremely proud cry. "Haha, my good junior brother. The next time I see you, I'll definitely trample you under my feet." Jiang Ping had a junior brother? Who was it? Only Yang Wu knew who this guy was talking about. He was the successor of the Heavenly Palace, and had entered the sect earlier than Jiang Ping. However, Jiang Ping didn't think so. He had obtained the inheritance of the 3 Pristine's palace, and felt that he was the best successor of the Heavenly Palace. It was just that Haoren didn't recognize him. This time, Jiang Ping wanted to seize the position of Dragon Emperor, and prove to Haoren who was the strongest successor of the Heavenly Palace. After many top-tier freaks had gained something, some creatures from the outside world rushed in to throw away their lives. These creatures always had a fluke in their hearts, but after another dozen or so creatures died, no one dared to act rashly. They might as well wait for those creatures to escape and then rob them. It wasn't like the Fox King, Jiang Ping, and the others didn't chase after them. In the eyes of these creatures, even if they obtained the antiques, they were still heavily injured. It would be easier to snatch the antiques from them than from the passage. Moreover, this was a battle between dragons and phoenixes. Not only would they obtain the antiques by killing them, but they would also increase their chances of winning. When Yang Wu's group of 3 locked onto another object, 2 humans suffused with lightning energy walked towards them. One of them said, "Junior sister, accompany us." The one who spoke was a woman with average looks. Her delicate body carried 2 large purple axes on her back, and her proportions weren't very harmonious. There was a lightning mark flowing between her eyebrows, giving her an invisible temperament. Beside her was a tall and handsome man. His purple hair fluttered in the wind, and he wore a purple sacred armor. He held a thunder-shaped battle spear, and revealed a trace of arrogance. The previous saintess of the Purple Firmament Hall, Zhong, was known as the Violent Woman. The previous saintess, Lei Bebe, was known as the Little Thunder God. These two geniuses were the strongest geniuses of the Purple Firmament Hall, and were also strong contenders for the Dragon Emperor. This was especially true for the Violent Woman, Zhong. She had extraordinary talent and had long possessed the power to kill saints. They established the Thunder Sect and recruited many powerful geniuses. They had always been low-key, but no one dared to ignore their existence. They were dissatisfied with their junior sister, Yu Yu, following by Yang Wu's side. When they were in the hall, they had heard that Ziyu Yu and Yang Wu had an affair. Now that they were together so openly, they were too lazy to interfere. However, they discovered that Ziyu Yu's lightning field was different from others, and she had obtained many antique. Only then did they have the idea to rope Ziyu Yu in to prevent others from benefiting, and also to increase their chances of obtaining antique. Ziyu Yu looked at them and cupped her hands. "Senior sister, senior brother, do you want to come with us? I'll ask my husband if he's willing." When she said this, Zhong and Lei Bebe's expressions turned ugly. She had said the opposite. Chapter 1091. Zhong meant for Ziyu Yu to return, not for her to join their team. How smart was Ziyu Yu! She could understand what Zhong meant, but she didn't pay attention to it. Instead, she turned the tables on them. "Yu, don't play dumb with me. If I join hands with you and your senior brother, we will be able to obtain the more important divine object. Why are you accompanying them? Could it be that you've forgotten the punishment that the palace gave you?" Zhong said in a deep voice. Without waiting for Ziyu Yu to reply, Yang Wu asked from the side, "Yu, what did the Purple Firmament Palace do to you?" Ever since they were young, he had always protected the slug, afraid that she would be wronged. Even though they had been separated for a few years, their relationship had not been diluted. Instead, it had become even stronger. Suddenly hearing that the Purple Firmament Palace dared to punish Ziyu Yu, he was instantly enraged. "Marshal, don't think too much. That was just a training for me," Ziyu Yu said indifferently. She then looked at Zhong and said, "Aunt, you don't have to worry about my matters. I know what I'm doing." The relationship between Ziyu Yu and Zhong was not shallow. Ziyu Yu's father was Zhong's elder brother. If you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't have openly contradicted the palace master, Zhong said in a bad mood. Little Thunder God Lei Bebe said from the side, "Junior sister, I don't care what relationship you have with them. You better stay away from them. Otherwise, you will only harm them. Your mouth is really smelly. If you want to deal with us, then do it," Skinny Monkey said as he stared at Lei Bebe. "I don't care how powerful your Purple Firmament Palace is. Today, I will tell you that Yu is my wife. If anyone bullies her, then they will be going against me, Yang Wu." Yang Wu swore loudly. At the same time, there was a powerful dragon chi floating around his body. A solid dragon shadow appeared, and a majestic aura enveloped the surroundings, causing a great sense of oppression. Zhong and Lei Bebe were both top monstrous geniuses. However, they still revealed a surprised expression in the face of Yang Wu's aura and pressure. It was as if they did not expect that Yang Wu would have such courage to challenge them. "Saint Master Yang Wu, I've long heard of your great name. I, Lei Bebe, would like to seek your guidance." Lei Bebe's entire body was shrouded in purple lightning. He let out a shout and was about to attack Yang Wu. However, before he could make a move, an astonishing commotion came from the other direction of the tunnel. A terrifying divine power swept over, forcing them to enter their strongest defensive state and hide. Not good. Yang Wu's reaction was very fast. He saw that the few creatures from the Corpse Clan were rushing towards them, and there were divine powers slapping towards them. It was obvious that they had touched the god's corpse there. "Ha, kill them!" The leading creature from the Corpse Clan laughed wildly. He held a small bell in his hand, and there was an indescribable sound of the bell, which affected the direction of the attack from the god's corpse. Instead, it was attacking towards Yang Wu and the others. Unlucky things, I'll kill you all. The skinny monkey shouted and smashed his broken staff towards the divine power. Bang! Just as the skinny monkey's power made contact with the divine power, his body was sent flying backwards like a kite with a broken string. Fresh blood spurted out from his body. Skinny monkey! Yang Wu's eyes were red with anger. He roared and rushed towards the skinny monkey. He definitely did not want any accidents to happen to the skinny monkey. He was multitasking. The ice wing blade flew out and slashed towards the creature from the corpse clan. Clank! Yang Wu's ice-winged blade was very powerful. When it landed on the corpse clan's creature, a crisp sound rang out. The corpse clan's creature's arm was almost cut off. There was also a layer of extremely cold ice chi on his body, which slowed his movements by a lot. He roared, "All of you must die." In the next moment, he poured all of his power into the small bell, and there was an ancient sound of a burial bell ringing. Dong dong! This burst of power completely exploded in the tunnel. Those corpses seemed to be affected by the sound of the bell, and they all moved. All of the creatures cursed angrily. "Bastard, you even startled these corpses! Hurry up and run. If you don't run, you'll die. Corpse clan, I swear that I won't coexist with you. Stupid guy, why are you so serious with these unlucky guys? Damn it." The creatures in the tunnel all cursed angrily. Many of them quickly escaped, and some of them seized the opportunity to snatch the things they wanted. Some of the corpses here seemed to be alive. Powerful divine power and saint power exploded in the tunnel, and the scene became chaotic. Go to hell. Yu activated the fantasy wedding dress invisibility ability and swept towards the creatures from the corpse clan. A burst of lightning power blasted towards them. These creatures from the corpse clan did not have the chance to react before they were drowned by the lightning power. The creature from the corpse clan holding the small bell was the strongest. He continued to shake the bell while frantically fleeing. He wanted to snatch the things he needed in the chaos. Yang Wu caught the skinny monkey. The skinny monkey's vitality was very strong. Even after being hit, he did not die. He shouted, "Big brother, don't worry about me. I can hold on." At the same time, divine power and saint power exploded in all directions. Living beings who could not avoid these powers would be killed by these powers. Yu. Yang Wu activated the electric fork aura and shouted at Yu. He and Yu combined to form the strongest fighting force. Only then could they have the power to protect themselves. Ziyue and Yang Wu had a tacit understanding and immediately released their Thunder Hammer Chi field. The two completely different chi fields merged together and formed a thunder electromagnetic field. The power of thunder and lightning surged and blocked the power of the Thunder Hammer Chi field. They would not stay where they were. They quickly retreated in one direction to avoid the most powerful attack. Bang! Bang! The electromagnetic field was hit by a powerful force, and many of the lightning turned into dust. Summon Thunder Flag! Summon Thunder! Yu took out the Thunder Flag and waved it. The power of the electromagnetic field quickly increased, turning into lightning snakes that collided with the power that came crashing down. The other living beings also unleashed their most powerful defenses, but unfortunately, many of them were still directly slapped to death by the power of these attacks. Only a few of them managed to escape at the first moment. The burial bell stopped ringing. The corpse clan had already fled to the deepest part. This guy had the same characteristics as the skeletons here. He did not suffer any particularly powerful attack. After the burial bell stopped ringing, the attacks of the skeletons gradually stopped as well. Yang Wu, Yu, and Shou Ho were not in good shape. Yang Wu's top-grade saint garment still burst. Shou Ho's broken armor was even more damaged. He kept coughing up blood. Yu was in a better state than them. The dream wedding dress was worthy of being in the top 3 of the sacred weapon ranking. It was comparable to a demigod-level armor. Shou-ho, you heal first. You protect him. Yang Wu's eyes were locked on the broken blade that was inserted at the edge of the boundary passage. The two skeletons there had moved. Their bones had dimmed a lot. It was obvious that after the explosion of power, the power of the skeletons had decreased. This subtle change was not something that anyone could detect. Yang Wu wanted to complete the mission given to him by Duanren city leader. He had to get the broken blade. Now was the best opportunity. Wu, what are you doing? Yu asked worriedly. Yang Wu ignored her. He quickly flew out. He took out the broken blade from the Qian Kuan space. When he poured power into it, the other part of the broken blade that was embedded in the boundary of the passage reacted. Xiao! The broken blade emitted a dazzling light. It was like a peerless sword had been born. It was so powerful that it attracted the attention of many creatures. Come here! Yang Wu shouted. He reached out a blue hand to grab the broken blade. At the same time, the ice wing blade flew out. It cut the weakest part of the skeleton next to him. He was too bold. No one else dared touch the skeletons, but he took the initiative to attack. He had a death wish. Pung! After the ice wing blade came into contact with the skeleton did not fall apart. It clawed at Yang Wu's position. In a flash, it was above Yang Wu's head. As long as it clawed at Yang Wu's head, it would explode and he would die. Wu! Ziyue cried out involuntarily. Big brother! Shou-ho was also very worried. They disregarded everything. Both of them rushed out and launched their strongest attack at the skeleton. There was a lightning sword that cut at the skeleton. There was also a golden stick that smashed at the skeleton. Their strength was still too slow. The power of the skeleton had already fallen on Yang Wu's head. Fortunately, the broken blade that was stuck in the boundary passage was also pulled out by Yang Wu's strength. The broken blade flew rapidly toward Yang Wu and hit the skeleton. The skeleton could not withstand the power of the broken blade and exploded on the spot. Yang Wu was also sent flying by the claw. Although the power of the skeleton had been reduced by more than half, it still almost crushed his head. A hideous scar appeared on his face. It was a ghastly scar that was extremely frightening. Yang Wu's face was disfigured. Yang Wu only felt dizzy. The pain went straight to his bone marrow. He almost fainted. The two halves of the blade joined together and formed a peerless divine blade. The astonishing blade energy forced Ziyue and the skinny monkey-like figure to be unable to get close. All the creatures showed a greedy look. Such a divine sword, even if it was damaged, was still shockingly valuable. Even saint-level creatures would fight over it until their heads bled. Yu and Shou-ho were both worried about Yang Wu's injuries. They surrounded him. Suddenly, a powerful earth dragon pounced toward Yang Wu. In addition, there was also a surge of demonic qi. It grabbed toward Yang Wu. How dare you! Shou-ho shouted. Golden flames shot out of his eyes. Piss off! Yu also waved her purple lightning sword and slashed out a purple sword qi to stop the demonic qi. Chapter 1092. Other than the Stone Golem race, the Jade Emperor race was the strongest race that could control the power of Earth. Moreover, the Stone Golem race was also a subsidiary race of the Jade Emperor race. There wasn't much soil in this barrier passage that could be used, but it was still easy for the Jade Emperor race to condense an Earth Dragon. Yang Wu obtained the Divine Saber, and many people wanted to snatch it. Even the Demon race didn't want to let it go. When the Skinny Monkey and Purple Yu stopped the Jade Emperor race and the Demon race, there were other creatures that attacked Yang Wu. Kuan Mingzi, the previous generation's holy son of Kunlun, was also the leader of the Ming Gang. He was one of the contenders for the Dragon King title. The strength he displayed was indeed powerful. An ice palm grabbed over, and in the blink of an eye, it arrived in front of Yang Wu. He, go to hell, Saint Master Yang Wu. Kuan Mingzi sneered in his heart. Just as Kuan Mingzi was about to succeed, another flame swept over and blocked Kuan Mingzi's attack. Who? Koen Mingzi shouted angrily. He finally got an opportunity to kill Yang Wu with great difficulty, but it was intercepted by someone else. His heart was filled with anger. I didn't expect the previous generation's holy son of Kunlun Mountain to also specialize in sneak attacks. An incomparably pleasant voice faintly sounded. A beautiful figure filled with fiery red radiance appeared beside Yang Wu. That pair of smooth jade-like legs were exposed. Anyone who saw them couldn't help but steal a few glances. That slender waist could be grasped and moved up by 2 inches. That plump area was very eye-catching. That tender neck, that moving bony collar, and that breathtakingly beautiful face was filled with boundless charm. Sister, when did Sister Huo Wu know that guy? In the outside world, Chao Jifei asked the woman beside her. Consort Ji, have you forgotten that we are all from the war race? The Xianyuan third princess replied. Then, she sighed softly, this girl's standards are very high. She doesn't put any man in her eyes easily. It seems that she is quite interested in Yang Wu. What's so good about a womanizer? You must warn little sister Fire Dance to stay away from him. Chao Jifei said with a hint of jealousy. Why do I smell vinegar? Sister, what nonsense are you spouting? At this moment Shu Yujun, Little Man, Yang Wu and the others all wanted to rush into the passage to help Yang Wu, but Qing Jing stopped them and said, if you don't want senior brother Yang Wu to be distracted, then don't go down. Qing Jing was also very anxious, but she believed that Yang Wu had the ability to escape. If others went in, it would only harm him. Those guys deserve to die. Little Man clenched her fists and stared at the creatures below who wanted to harm Yang Wu. Koen Mingzi was very dissatisfied with Xianyuan Huo Wu's interception, but he didn't continue to attack. Instead, he smiled faintly and said, Princess Xianyuan, why do you want to harm our friendship for an unrelated person? This is the Dragon Phoenix battlefield. No matter what method is used to kill the enemy, there's nothing wrong with it. Even so, I hope that you can defeat this guy fair and square. Xianyuan Huo Wu lightly pursed her jade lips and said. Her appearance was very cute. No matter which man saw it, their heart would thump. She and Yu were called the twin fairies, and it wasn't just because of random flattery. Hee, since Princess Xianyuan says so, I'll give you face. Koen Mingzi laughed and left without the slightest hesitation. With Xianyuan Huo Wu by Yang Wu's side, he was destined to suffer. Although he wasn't afraid of Xianyuan Huo Wu, he didn't want to leave a bad impression in Xianyuan Huo Wu's heart. Both Purple Yu and Xianyuan Huo Wu were women of the highest quality. Just as Xianyuan Huo Wu relaxed a little, Koen Mingzi suddenly seized an ancient corpse not far away. At first glance, it looked like he was seizing an ancient object, but who knew what sinister intentions he had? When he touched the antique, the skeletons there burst out with an extremely powerful force and charged towards him. An ice shield appeared in this guy's hand, and a pair of extreme wind boots appeared on his feet. He quickly retreated and shouted, Princess Xianyuan, run! Bang! Koen Mingzi forcibly blocked the corpse's attack. His body was knocked back at an extremely fast speed, and swept toward Yang Wu's direction. If the corpse's attack continued to pursue, it would definitely hit Xianyuan Huo Wu and Yang Wu. Xianyuan Huo Wu was incomparably furious. She prepared to grab Yang Wu and leave this place together, but the corpse's attack was too fast. If she didn't escape now, she would be attacked together with Yang Wu. Enemy! Xianyuan Huo Wu still couldn't let go of Yang Wu. She sighed in her heart, and took out a top-grade defensive item to block the corpse's attack. This was a top-grade holy mirror with both offense and defense. It was a holy weapon ranked 76th on the holy weapon list. When this holy mirror came in contact with the terrifying power, cracks appeared on the holy mirror. It actually couldn't block the corpse's attack. From this, one could see how terrifying this corpse was. Koen Mingzi actually came back again, and shot an ice-cold finger toward the space between Yang Wu's eyebrows. This guy was truly sinister to the extreme. Just as the ice-cold finger was about to land between Yang Wu's eyebrows, the ice blade wings appeared out of nowhere and blocked the finger. He opened his eyes and shouted, "I'll kill you!" His battle aura soared to the heavens, and the divine saber in his hand also emitted waves of majestic aura. It was as long as he activated it, he could cut Kuan Mingzi in half. Kuan Mingzi was scared out of his wits. He quickly moved his extreme wind boots and left the passage. Yang Wu turned the tip of his saber and aimed it at the corpse. A shocking attack filled the passage. The tyrannical saber light descended from the sky and directly cut the corpse in half. Although sky-piercing artifacts couldn't be used in the prodigy competition, it didn't mean that they couldn't be used to deal with dead things in this forbidden area. Moreover, the sky-piercing artifacts were obtained from here, so it wasn't against the rules. Xianyuan Huowu breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the corpse being cut into pieces. At the same time, she glanced at her sacred mirror with a pained expression. She couldn't help but angrily say, "Bad guy, compensate me for my sacred mirror." "Okay, I'll compensate you." Yang Wu obtained a chance to catch his breath. His injuries had recovered quite a bit, but the scars on his face hadn't completely disappeared, adding a bit of ruthlessness to his handsome face. After Yang Wu cut down the corpse, he picked up the ancient object beside it. It was an ancient mirror weapon, and its craftsmanship was extremely unique. Even though it had been sealed for many years, it still emitted a sparkling and translucent light. He poured his energy into the mirror weapon, and an indescribable energy fluctuated. A few ancient words appeared on the handle of the mirror: Demon Exterminating Mirror. What a domineering name! One reflection could exterminate demons, and 2 reflections could slaughter devils. Yang Wu didn't even think as he tossed the demon exterminating mirror to Xianyuan Huowu and said, "I'll compensate you." After he finished speaking, he didn't care if Xianyuan Huowu appreciated it or not. He rushed towards Ziyuyu and Shouho. His gaze locked onto the Jade Emperor clan and Devil clan's beings, and he angrily shouted, "Bastards who hit me when I'm down, I'll annihilate you." Tyrannical Divine Palm. Yang Wu carried a dense blue flame as he slapped towards the Jade Emperor clan's beings. The ice-winged blades split into 2 and attacked the Devil clan's beings. The 2 beings didn't tangle with each other. After they felt Yang Wu's anger, they quickly retreated. They didn't want to fight in such a dangerous place. Yang Wu's attack was just a bluff. If he really used his full strength and caused the other corpses to react, it wouldn't be worth it. Ziyuyu and Shouho were fine. Even though they were injured, it wasn't a problem for them to protect themselves. "Quickly heal yourselves," Yang Wu said to them. "Big brother, you should take care of yourself first." "I'm fine," Shouho said stubbornly. This guy's injuries weren't light. Ziyuyu looked at the scars on Yang Wu's face and said with heartache, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," Yang Wu replied with a smile. How could he not feel the pain on his face? That attack just now almost took his life. Fortunately, he had an undying body and could quickly heal himself. He wouldn't die for the time being. "Haha, this place will become our Corpse Clan's god treasury. All of you will die." The Corpse Clan's being's voice came from the depths of the tunnel, and the sound of the burial bell rang out. Dong dong. The living beings here were shocked once again, and they frantically tried to flee outside. "We're not leaving either. We can't be greedy anymore." Ziyuyu made a prompt decision and said to Yang Wu, "Let's go." Shouho also revealed a trace of worry. Yang Wu also realized that if he stayed any longer, something bad would happen. Just as he was about to leave, he saw a person in the depths being attacked by a skeleton. It seemed that he wouldn't be able to hold on for long and would be killed by the skeleton. He clenched his teeth and said to Ziyuyu and Shouho, "You two go out first. I want to save someone." Immediately after, he rushed into the depths without hesitation. His action was very impulsive. It was simply courting death. "Wu boss!" Ziyuyu and Shouho cried out in alarm in unison. They wanted to rush in and help Yang Wu, but the skeletons beside them also moved and attacked them, forcing them to retreat quickly. Otherwise, only death would await them. Xianyuan Huowu stomped her feet and scolded, "I saved you for nothing." Xianyuan Huowu didn't lose her mind and chase after Yang Wu. Instead, she quickly rushed out of the passage. She held the demon exterminating mirror in her hand. After pouring energy into it, she directly blocked the attacks from the skeletons. Her body shuttled like a phoenix and finally escaped outside by luck. Ziyu and Shou Ho's situation wasn't good. They retreated quickly, but the attacks from the skeletons were even faster. They simply didn't want to let them escape. Roar. Shou Ho made a prompt decision to transform. His whole body was covered with golden hair, as if he had transformed into an ape. His battle chi became even more powerful. 2 golden flames shot out from his eyes and forcibly blocked the terrifying attack. Ziyu also couldn't let Shou Ho face them alone. She waved the lightning summoning flag and the power of many lightning bolts exploded. Their attacks were unable to block the attacks from the skeletons. At the crucial moment, a tyrannical blade slashed out from inside. Rumble. Chapter 1093. How important was Ziyue and the skinny monkey-like figure to Yang Wu? When he went to save them, he still paid attention to their situation. With the divine blade in hand, he turned around and slashed. In this place, so what if he used the Tong Tian divine weapon? Even if he was stripped of his qualifications, it was not a big deal. As long as he was still alive, everything was beautiful. As Yang Wu slashed out with his blade, more than half of his strength was used up. It was still very difficult for him to activate the power of the divine blade. Fortunately, he had destroyed the power of the god's corpse that was dealing with Ziyu and the skinny monkey, allowing them to successfully escape. However, Yang Wu had been completely destroyed in this dangerous place. Many of the corpses here were alarmed, and many terrifying powers blasted out, not only targeting him, but also the other creatures here. Yang Wu could not care less. He raised his strength again and slashed forward. The sharp blade light broke through layers of obstacles and sent a corpse flying. The woman in black was saved. "Captain, is that you?" Yang Wu asked with anticipation. Before the woman could reply, a powerful force enveloped him from all directions. In such a dangerous place, the slightest bit of carelessness would lead to endless calamity. How many powerful creatures had died here? These were all examples. He raised the divine blade and slashed left and right, barely blocking these attacks. However, his body was also knocked into the barrier wall. Blood spurted out, and his internal organs were almost displaced. The woman in black sensed Yang Wu's dangerous situation and could not help but shout, "Why did you come to save me?" The woman in black grabbed a divine bow that she had just seized. She condensed her power into an arrow and shot it towards Yang Wu's direction. Swoosh! This was indeed an astonishing divine bow. When the arrow was shot out, it was as if the sun and moon were circulating. The tyrannical power forcefully shot into the skeleton in front of Yang Wu. Boom! The woman in black's attack only alleviated Yang Wu's danger, but it did not truly solve it. She was also facing the attacks of the god's corpse. In other directions, other living beings were killed by the skeletons here. There were peerless geniuses from the battle tribe's Lu family, the previous generation's holy son of the moon worship sect, the Jiao dragon of the Jiao dragon tribe, the powerful lion demon, and the demon son of the devil tribe. Peerless geniuses who were qualified to be called emperors had all died here. Yang Wu and the black-clothed woman could not be saved. The creatures in the outside world could not see the situation in the depth. They could only hear the sounds of explosions coming from inside, which made them feel terrified. "Will young master be all right?" Little man asked worriedly. "Don't worry, he will definitely come out alive." Shu Yujun clenched her fists and said, "Master, we will wait for you to come out." Yang Ba shouted. Not far away, Chao Jifei and Miao Miao's expressions turned ugly. Under such circumstances, how could there be any chance of survival? Marshal! Yu cried out sorrowfully. She wanted to charge into the passage again, but a powerful force bounced her back. This passage seemed to only allow living beings to enter once. Once they left, they could forget about entering again. This reckless fellow, why doesn't he know how to love himself? Xianyuan Houwu muttered to herself in dissatisfaction. Someone rejoiced in his misfortune and said, "Greed won't have a good ending." Another said, "Without Yu Xianzi's help, how could Yang Wu survive? What a pity!" In the eyes of the creatures here, Yang Wu was the same as the other peerless creatures. There was no way he could survive. Was Yang Wu really dead? He was not someone who gave in easily. In the face of these concentrated attacks, he erupted with all the power of his battle blood and activated the black tortoise battle armor. His battle intent reached its peak, and his battle soul appeared. The power of the sacred dragon war body was also released. He raised his divine blade and slashed wildly. He did not want to die like this even if he had to use up the last bit of his strength. Yang Wu even forced out his soul eye. Although his soul power was weak in front of this divine power, he still had to give it a try. Not only that, but the sacred mandala flower on Yang Wu's body sensed that its master was in danger and erupted with its incomparably powerful side. Boundless holy energy was released, and an evil power mixed with a dense corrosive power blocked the divine power. A sacred flower completely enveloped Yang Wu, further strengthening Yang Wu's defenses. The sacred mandala flower suffered the heaviest attack, and its petals cracked. "Master, I can't hold on for much longer. Let's rush out," the sacred mandala flower said with difficulty. The sacred mandala flower had reached the peak of the initial stage of the Saint Realm, and was comparable to a mid-stage Saint Realm creature. After erupting with its full strength, it could only block 1 or 2 attacks from the corpses. Yang Wu realized the danger of the situation and did not have time to think. He stretched out his hand and pulled the black-robed woman out. The black-robed woman did not resist. She held the divine bow and waved it left and right to reduce the resistance. The veil on her face split open, revealing a cold and beautiful face. Who else could she be but the Rose of Death? The Rose of Death, a woman who had been missing for many years, had actually come to the transcendent realm. Moreover, her combat power was many times stronger than before. If the generals of the Great Xia knew about this, they would think that it was a fantasy. Yang Wu did not care about all this. He had already determined that she was the Rose of Death. Otherwise, he would not have risked his life to save her. He waved the divine blade and squeezed out all the energy in his body, wanting to rush out. Puff puff! Yang Wu was attacked again. The sacred mandala flower cracked again, damaging its origin. Yang Wu was also heavily injured. His body exploded and blood spurted out. Go! Yang Wu felt that there was no way to escape. He used all the strength in his body to throw the Rose of Death out. Yang Wu! The Rose of Death borrowed Yang Wu's strength to fly out. She could no longer suppress her emotions and cried out in alarm. Rumble, rumble! Yang Wu was completely submerged by the power of the god's skeleton. The Rose of Death was also affected by the power. Her body rolled out heavily. No! The Rose of Death cried out. She shouldn't have feelings, but at this moment she couldn't help but be moved. The scenes in the mortal realm flashed through her mind. That guy saw her body and absorbed her death energy. This caused her to completely comprehend the mysteries of the Tao of Death. She developed subtle feelings for him. In the end, she still left the mortal realm and returned to the transcendent realm. She and he were destined to be people of 2 different worlds. Moreover, she didn't want to harm him. The power she belonged to was not something that the mortal realm could understand. Who knew that Yang Wu would come to the transcendent realm and become famous in the transcendent realm in just a few years? It was impossible for her not to know. Moreover, the people of King of Hell's palace knew that he cultivated the Tao of Death. There were already people who wanted to capture Yang Wu. It was she who stopped the people in the palace and told them that Yang Wu was her disciple. The Tao of Death could only be cultivated by the people of King of Hell's palace. The Battle King of Death was only lucky to obtain a trace of inheritance. He was still far from the true Tao of Death. The Rose of Death, who had never known how to write the word cry, cried. She shed tears of blood as she watched the little man she had missed for so many years die in front of her. She hated herself for being so useless and weak. The Tao of Death. A flower of death bloomed here. The terrifying death energy absorbed a lot of the corpse energy here and strengthened the beautiful rose. From this moment on, her Tao of Death could be considered complete. A terrifying Death Empress rose to power. She was forced out of the passage by the power. She didn't care about her injuries and crazily charged in again. However, she was still repelled by the powerful force. Ah! Yang Wu, I don't want you to die. Why did you save me? Why did you save me? The Rose of Death cried out in grief. The expressions of those who knew Yang Wu in the air instantly changed. Especially the few women who were related to Yang Wu. They couldn't help but cry. Big Brother Wu! You won't die. You won't die. Purple Yu trembled as she said in a daze. Yang Wu, you haven't married me yet. I won't allow you to die. Shu Yujun crazily charged down. Fortunately, Yang Ba, who was beside her, pulled her back in time and didn't allow her to do anything stupid. I'll go save the Lord, Su Zhu shouted. He wanted to turn into a fierce tiger and charge down. Don't throw your life away. Yang Yifan rationally stopped Su Zhu and said. No one looked at the little man. This girl's entire body was covered in a terrifying barbaric aura as she forcefully charged down the passage. Young master, please don't let anything happen to you. The little man was extremely worried. Just as she rushed down, a terrifying power surged, causing her to spit out blood and be sent flying. The little man was on the verge of death. Countless fierce beasts roared angrily. Roar! In the depths of the barrier passage. Yang Wu had completely lost consciousness. The power of those god corpses could even kill beings of the heavenly ascension realm, let alone him. He was already very lucky that he wasn't torn to pieces. Woof, woof. I owed this brat in my previous life. A barking sound rang out. A power enveloped Yang Wu's body, protecting Yang Wu. No matter how strong the god corpses were, they couldn't break through the power of this light barrier. This wasn't Little Hay's power, but the power of a god pearl in its paw. God Shield Pearl. This was a defensive god pearl. It was the best defensive item Little Hay had found here. It could barely block the attacks of the god corpses here. The god corpses and sacred corpses had moved because of that corpse clan creature. He had activated the corpses here, hoping to use them for himself. In the end, he was ruthlessly killed by the power here. The burial bell had also become a top sacred object here. Some corpses that had lost control rushed out of the passage and attacked the beings outside. The beings outside were all shocked. They all fled frantically, not daring to fight with these corpses at all. Any one of these corpses had the power to kill a mid-level sacred being. Even if they had a trump card, they couldn't stop them, not to mention that there were even more terrifying corpses. After an unknown period of time, the ground of the restriction passage changed. The crack in the ground closed together, and the power of the dragon chi and the true phoenix fire all retracted into the passage. The ground returned to normal, as if nothing had happened at all. Everything returned to normal. Chapter 1094. Within the restricted passageway. No one knew how it was opened, nor did they know where it led to or what lay behind the stone door. Perhaps only the dragon phoenix tree would be able to understand the mysteries behind this passageway. The dragon phoenix tree had grown up here, so it would naturally understand this passageway. There was also Little Hay. Perhaps it would also be able to understand some of the mysteries of this passageway. The other living beings didn't have the ability to do so. Since ancient times, so many immortal ascension stage beings and sage realm beings had died in front of this passageway. This was enough to show just how mysterious this passageway was. After being protected by Little Hay, Yang Wu's life was no longer in danger. Slowly, he relied on his undying physique to regain consciousness. Yang Wu looked at Little Hay, who was sprawled not too far away. He asked weakly, "Little Hay, did you save me? If it wasn't me, who else could have saved you?" Little Hay replied proudly, "Then I'm relieved. Protect me for a while. I'll recover first." Yang Wu felt as if all of his bones had been broken, and his organs had been displaced. This kind of injury was enough to kill a normal person 10 times over. It was already a miracle that he was still hanging on by a thread. He activated his power and drew upon the wisp of immortal qi. His body was nourished by the immortal qi, and his injuries slowly healed. Little Hay sighed. "I owed you in my past life." After an indeterminate amount of time, Yang Wu had recovered quite a bit. He refined another pill to hasten the healing of his injuries. He had to recover in order to have the strength to protect himself. These past few years, Little Hay had not been by his side. He had already grown accustomed to relying on his own strength to survive. Relying on others would never be a good thing. When Yang Wu completely recovered, the first thing he did was check on the sacred mandala flower. If it hadn't been for the sacred mandala flower, he would have died long ago. "Xiao Man, are you still alive?" Yang Wu looked at the sacred mandala flower, which had already shrunk into a tiny flower print on his arm. The sacred mandala flower spoke in an extremely weak voice. Master, I might not be able to make it. My core energy has been scattered. Hang in there, I will definitely think of a way to save you," Yang Wu said sadly. He then took out the 10,000-year pagoda tree and said, "You refined this 10,000-year pagoda tree. Didn't you miss it? It can help you recover, right?" I can't refine it now. Master, you can keep it for your own use. I only hope that Master can bury my seed in the sacred ground. I hope that one day I can revive again." The sacred mandala flower stuttered. "Little Hay, do you have a way to save it?" Yang Wu turned his gaze to Little Hay and asked. Other people might not be able to discover the existence of the sacred mandala flower, but that didn't mean that Little Hay couldn't. Little Hay stretched and lazily said, "It's just an evil flower. How many do you want? This immortal emperor will find them for you." "No. I want it," Yang Wu replied seriously. He was a sentimental person. Even if the sacred mandala flower wasn't of the human race, it had saved him at a critical moment. He would think of a way to save it. Before Little Hay could say anything, Yang Wu thought of a way to save it. He took out a sparkling drop of dew. This was a drop of dew from the leaves of the green sprout. There was a limited amount of dew, but each drop contained extraordinary power. It had once saved his great-grandmother's lifespan. He felt that he could definitely save the sacred mandala flower. When Little Hay saw this drop of dew, its eyes almost popped out. It wanted nothing more than to jump over and swallow it. It anxiously asked, "Woof, woof, Little Wu Zi, where did you get this drop of immortal liquid?" Yang Wu acted as if he didn't hear Little Hay's words. He dripped the drop of dew towards the sacred mandala flower. The sacred mandala flower sensed the immortal liquid's rich vitality. It used its last bit of energy to swallow the drop of dew. "Little Wu Zi, don't waste it!" Little Hay shouted anxiously. It couldn't help but jump over. It really wanted to snatch the immortal liquid. In the end, it restrained itself. It was an immortal emperor. How could it snatch a mere drop of immortal liquid? Swoosh! After the sacred mandala flower swallowed the drop of dew, it exuded an exuberant vitality. It slowly recovered from Yang Wu's arm. Vines grew out and a mandala flower bloomed in an instant. The evil aura it exuded contained a hint of holiness. It appeared particularly different. A beautiful figure quietly appeared in the core of the flower. It was in the shape of a beautiful woman. It recovered from a state of near death to a state of full vitality in just a few blinks of an eye. The sacred mandala flower recovered to its original state. Moreover, it continued to grow. Its vines became thicker, longer, and more petals appeared. The power it released became more and more powerful. Seeing its appearance, Yang Wu was completely relieved. A gratified expression appeared on his face. It saved. Although the sacred mandala flower was an evil plant that was ranked at the top and was a plant that many creatures didn't dare to come into contact with, Yang Wu didn't mind helping it come back to life. He even hoped that it would become stronger. It had saved him. It happily said to Yang Wu, "Thank you for the divine spring, Master." It realized that what Yang Wu gave it was definitely not an ordinary holy liquid, but a holy spring. Only a god-level holy liquid could pull it back from the brink of death and help it become more vigorous. Its strength had also increased by a large margin, and it was very close to the intermediate saint realm. "I should be the one thanking you," Yang Wu replied. "I signed a master-servant contract with Master. If Master dies, I will die. Therefore, saving Master is also saving myself," the sacred mandala flower said honestly. "No matter what, you've saved me. Rest well. In the future, we'll fight side by side and grow together," Yang Wu said sincerely. He decided to properly nurture the sacred mandala flower. The sacred mandala flower withdrew its aura and burrowed into Yang Wu's arm. A demonic flower tattoo appeared on his arm, giving him a sense of seduction. "Little Wu, do you know what kind of spring that is? You actually gave it to a young sacred mandala flower to consume. You're such a wastrel," Little Hay said to Yang Wu with a pained expression. "Do you know where it came from?" Yang Wu asked Little Hay. "That's an immortal liquid. I often use it to rinse my mouth. Why don't I know about it?" Little Hay replied. "Since you use it to rinse your mouth, why are you pained?" "Woof, woof, it's only because I'm in dire straits that I know how to cherish it. Hurry up and tell me where you got this drop of immortal liquid. There's no rush. I think we should first figure out the situation here." "What's there to figure out? This immortal emperor already knows everything." "Then tell me what's going on here." "Let's talk about the immortal liquid first." Yang Wu argued with Little Hay for a while, but he still lost to Little Hay. Thus, he confessed to Little Hay, "There's a plant growing in my dantian. I got this immortal liquid from that plant." "What?" Little Hay cried out in shock. Her small body shot up from the ground and jumped high into the air. "Little Hay, don't scare me. I won't become a vegetable, right?" Yang Wu said nervously. In the mountain prison, Yang Wu was able to recover his dantian and gain his current strength. This was all thanks to Little Hay. Little Hay's reaction clearly indicated that something big had happened. Little Hay landed on the ground, her eyes glowing with a strange light. She looked at Yang Wu's lower abdomen. Yang Wu felt as if Little Hay could see through his clothes. He hurriedly covered his private parts and said shyly, "Little Hay, what are you looking at? Don't look." "Woof, woof, it seems like an immortal tree really has grown out." Little Hay barked a few times and walked around in circles. It was unknown whether she was worried or thinking of a countermeasure. Yang Wu said anxiously, "Little Hay, hurry up and tell me. What's going on?" You've struck gold," Little Hay said seriously as she stared at Yang Wu. "What do you mean I've struck gold?" Yang Wu said with a confused expression. "I mean you've struck gold. That's an immortal peach tree. It's an immortal tree that should only exist in the heavens and not on earth," Little Hay said with an envious expression. "It's really an immortal peach tree?" "Of course. Your dantian was formed from the immortal peach pit. I didn't think that it would actually sprout. It didn't move for so many years in my stomach. Why did it sprout in your body? This isn't fair, it's not fair." "Wait, Little Hay, I know that this peach pit is yours, but what do you mean it was once in your stomach? Could it be that you secretly ate the immortal peach?" "Hee hee, of course I ate it, but I only managed to eat half of it. It's all that damned monkey's fault. Then how did you get me to eat the immortal peach pit? Of course I was the one who fed you. I even fed you mouth to mouth. Little Hay, let's fight to the death. The truth was often cruel. Back when Yang Wu obtained the immortal peach pit, he had a beautiful dream. In his dream, he was kissing a celestial maiden. Who would have thought that he would be kissing a dog? He didn't want to live anymore. Little Hay was disdainful toward Yang Wu. Did he really think that it wanted to feed him mouth to mouth? It didn't have the power to do so back then, so it couldn't use any other methods to feed him. Then what do we do about this? Yang Wu pointed at his own stomach. Don't worry, the immortal peach tree won't grow until 10,000 years later. It takes 30,000 years for it to bloom, 30,000 years for it to bear fruit, and 30,000 years for it to mature. When that time comes, we'll have immortal peaches to eat. Those are immortal peaches that can grant us immortality. Don't you think we've struck gold? Little Hay was drooling with anticipation. Yang Wu slapped his own forehead and said, "If it grows in my stomach, won't my body explode in the future? How am I supposed to live then? Hurry up and think of a way." Why are you in such a hurry? The immortal tree has a spirit. When it grows a little older and develops intelligence, you can transplant it out. However, its root is your dantian, so it's a little difficult to do. Yeah, once it leaves, my dantian will be destroyed. When that time comes, I'll become a cripple. This is not a good idea. Don't worry, let me think about it. Perhaps I can come up with a foolproof plan. By the way, can you get some of that immortal liquid for me to rinse my mouth with? Don't even think about the immortal liquid before you come up with a foolproof plan. Chapter 1095. The immortal immortality peach tree had grown in Yang Wu's body. Even Little Hay did not expect such a strange thing to happen. It was filled with envy and jealousy. The immortal immortality peach tree was one of a kind in the 9 heavens celestial realm. Any living being that ate a single immortal peach tree would gain immortality. It was a true immortal fruit. Little Hay had once eaten half of a immortal immortality peach, and it was the leftovers of someone else. It did not mind at all. It was still savoring the taste of that peach. It had even eaten the peach pit. It had once tried all kinds of methods to grow an immortal immortality peach tree. If it succeeded, it would have struck gold. Countless immortals would try to curry favor with it. It had tried all kinds of methods, but it was still unable to grow an immortal immortality peach tree. Who would have thought that Yang Wu would succeed? It felt that the heavens were so unfair. How could a mere mortal grow an immortal immortality peach tree? An immortal fruit needed a celestial land and a celestial spring to nurture it. Only then would it have a 1 in 10,000 chance of growing an immortal fruit. How did Yang Wu make it sprout? Little Hay could not find out what was going on. It was trying to figure out how to move the immortal immortality peach tree out of Yang Wu's body. Yang Wu's dantian had been replaced by the peach pit. It had merged with him. The immortal immortality peach tree was rooted from the peach pit. If it was moved out, Yang Wu would be crippled. It was almost impossible to find another dantian to replace it. How could it be replaced by another immortal fruit? Little Hay did not want anything to happen to Yang Wu. Yang Wu's growth was closely tied to its fate. If it did not move it out, who knew what would happen to Yang Wu and the immortal immortality peach tree? Little Hay could not come up with a solution. Yang Wu was getting anxious. If even Little Hay could not do anything, wouldn't he become a vegetable in the future? I got it! Little Hay suddenly cried out. Let's find the legendary divine soil of chaos before it fully matures. Perhaps it will willingly abandon the peach pit and move to the divine soil of chaos. Its roots are in my dantian. Will this method really work? Yang Wu smiled bitterly. That's the key. If you cut off its roots and replant it, it will definitely be able to live again. The only key is how to control your dantian to stop it from sprouting after cutting off its root. Little Hay analyzed. It paused for a moment before continuing. I think that if this method works, you don't have to be afraid. If we can plant an endless supply of immortality peach trees, we'll be rich. Even those guys in the heavens would treat you like a treasure and take good care of you. What guy in the sky? Yang Wu asked doubtfully. You don't have to worry about this. You're still very weak. I'll tell you in the future. Little Hay avoided this topic and continued to discuss the matter of replanting the immortality peach trees with Yang Wu. The divine soil of chaos was one of the rarest types of soil in the world. It was many times rarer than the sacred soil that Yang Wu had collected. The sacred soil could be artificially created. As long as it was nourished by a large number of sacred corpses and sacred qi, after 10,000 years, it would be possible to grow into sacred soil. However, the divine soil of chaos was different. It only existed in places with chaotic qi. It was not inferior to the source qi of heaven and earth. It was extremely rare. All things in the world were born from primal chaos. It was clear that its origins were astonishing. Finding the divine soil of chaos was harder than ascending to the heavens. Fortunately, Little Hay had said that the immortality peach trees needed at least 10,000 years to grow. He still had enough time to search for it. Perhaps he would be able to find a solution once he formed a divine body. Yang Wu asked, "What's a divine body? Is it just the immortal ascension realm?" Little Hay said angrily, "Don't insult a divine body." Little Hay did not tell Yang Wu about the divine body. Instead, she changed the topic to the passageway. Yang Wu's interest was piqued. He really wanted to know what this passageway was all about. Little Hay's answer surprised him. They were actually at the bottom of the dragon phoenix tree. As for the mysterious stone door, it was possible that it was connected to the void outside the realm. This passageway contained a terrifying restrictive power. It was a formation that had been set up by a super mighty figure. Once the power here was activated, a terrifying power would launch a frenzied attack. These corpses had been killed by this power. Yang Wu felt that he could not wrap his head around it. Just what kind of power could kill so many terrifying cultivators? Little Hay pointed in a certain direction and said with certainty, "The corpses of top-grade dragons and phoenixes are buried here. They are the most terrifying place. Anyone who tries to break through the secret of the stone door will have to bear the brunt of the power of the dragons and phoenixes. Even the immortal ascension realm cultivators you speak of will die without a doubt." Yang Wu noticed two enormous corpses beside the stone door. They were the legendary dragon and phoenix corpses. Only a large part of their bodies remained. A small part of their bodies was missing. However, the murderous dragon aura and true phoenix fire were still present. They were incredibly strong. Occasionally, the battle aura of the dragons and phoenixes pulsed as if they were still alive. The battle aura could not spread out. Instead, it was enveloped by the restrictive power. Only when the restrictive power was activated would the battle aura be able to kill the ultimate cultivators. Beside these two corpses, there were dozens of immortal ascension realm corpses. Perhaps they had all died here in an attempt to uncover the secret behind the stone door. The stone door was stained with terrifying blood. Some of the blood burned like fire, some of it shone with golden light, and some of it was as black as ink. These were all the blood of immortal ascension realm cultivators. They had all been overlords when they were alive. Yang Wu's ancient bronze eye reacted greatly. The 9 sovereign mysteries mantra also reacted. The arcane essence chi was all pointing towards the stone door. He could not help but say to Little Hay, "Little Hay, I can sense a type of arcane essence chi behind the stone door. What should we do?" "What can we do? Just eat it," Little Hay said helplessly as she spread out her front paws. Yang Wu said gloomily, "No way. It wasn't easy for me to find another type of arcane essence chi. Are we just going to let it go like this?" "Even though I don't want to let it go like this, with our strength, we don't have any chance of opening the stone door. The stone door needs a key to open." Do you see that slot in the middle of the door? Anyone who tries to open the stone door with their strength will die here. Blackie said solemnly. It paused for a moment before continuing. Collect some trash and antiques that are passable here and then leave. Come back when you find the key or when you have the strength to surpass these fellows. Yang Wu thought about the ancient bronze eye in his body, and his heart began to beat faster. He said, if I have the key, can we get the arcane essence chi? What? Little Wu, don't lie to me. Little He cried out in alarm. What good would it do me to lie to you? I might really have the key. Then hurry up and take it out for me to see. I'm afraid that if I take it out, it'll fly to the stone door. If it really opens and some terrifying fellow appears or activates the restrictions here, won't we be dead for sure? What are you afraid of with this immortal emperor here? Hurry up and take it out. Yang Wu hesitated for a moment, but still took out the ancient bronze eye that he had obtained a long time ago. Sure enough, as soon as he took it out, it instantly flew towards the stone door. He couldn't catch it even if he wanted to. He hurriedly called out, Little He, hurry up and stop it. Little He was also dumbfounded. It pounced over, wanting to bite the ancient bronze eye with its mouth. Who knew that it would pounce on empty air? It cried out, Holy shit, this immortal emperor actually missed. It's over. Yang Wu's mind went blank. The stone door hadn't been opened yet, and so many peerless experts had already died here. Now that it was opened, wouldn't they all die without a trace? Ding! The ancient bronze eye was perfectly aligned with the slot in the middle of the stone door. Wisps of power rippled out from the stone door, and it was as if the restrictions in the passageway had all disappeared at this moment. The skeletons that had been holding them down directly collapsed to the ground. They didn't attack Yang Wu and Little He. This also meant that Yang Wu and Little He would no longer be attacked or obstructed as they swept through the god items and saint items in this passageway. However, they didn't have the time to care about this. Little He released the power of the divine shield pearl, enveloping itself and Yang Wu's bodies in case anything unexpected happened. The stone door slowly opened, and wisps of astonishing aura flowed out from within. This was a power that was mixed with the source chi of heaven and earth. Although it wasn't the purest source chi of heaven and earth, it had the advantage of having a great amount of source chi. If they absorbed and refined all of this source chi, it wouldn't be inferior to obtaining some extremely pure source chi of heaven and earth. Whoosh! Outside the stone gate, terrifying noises resounded unceasingly. It was as if there was a peerless demon roaring over there. Astonishing forces were colliding with each other. That astonishing force flowed in and corroded many corpses on the spot. Even some of the broken weapons were turned into nothingness in an instant. This kind of corrosive force was too terrifying. The layers of defensive energy released by Little He's divine shield pearl were rapidly shrinking, as if they would collapse at any moment. Once that happened, the two of them would undoubtedly die. Not good, this is heavenly astral chi. Little He cried out in alarm, and its body rapidly grew. It spat out the divine shield pearl for Yang Wu, and then it threw itself at the stone door. Little He, don't go, Yang Wu cried out in alarm. Without the divine shield pearl, would Little He be able to withstand the terrifying baleful aura here? Little He's speed was very fast as lightning, and it also ignored the terrifying baleful aura here. In the blink of an eye, it arrived before the stone door. The baleful aura was the thickest there, and it was rushing in waves. Little He was facing it head-on, but it wasn't injured at all. This fellow's physical body was too strong. Its eyes flickered, and like two beams of divine light, it directly landed outside the stone door. Then, it let out a strange cry, and its front claws clawed out the ancient bronze eye on the stone door. After the ancient bronze eye was clawed out, the stone door finally slowly closed. Little He was directly blown back by the energy, and its body heavily smashed into the boundary wall, causing cracks to appear on the boundary wall. Yang Wu's heart ached when he saw this, and he said worriedly, Little Hay, you won't die, right? Chapter 1096. Heavenly Astral Chi, Earthly Fiend Chi. Heavenly Astral Chi and Earthly Fiend Chi were the most terrifying types of baleful Chi. Ordinary Heavenly Astral Chi and Earthly Fiend Chi were enough to overwhelm saints, but what appeared behind the stone door was Heavenly Astral Chi. It was Heavenly Astral Chi that had reached the pinnacle. Even divine tier beings could not withstand its corrosion. 70 to 80% of the corpses in the passageway had been destroyed, and only a few divine tier corpses remained. The broken weapons had also been destroyed. If Yang Wu did not have the power of the divine shield pearl, he would also have been corroded into ashes. Even so, the power of the divine shield pearl was almost completely corroded. If Little Hay had not removed the ancient bronze eye in time, the consequences could be imagined. Little Hay withstood the power of the heavenly astral chi to remove the ancient bronze eye, but it was also blown away by the force and smashed into the barrier wall. The barrier was incomparably sturdy, and even sacred weapons would not be able to damage it. However, when Little Hay smashed into it, the barrier wall cracked. It was obvious how serious the injury Little Hay had suffered was. The heavenly astral chi still remained in the passageway. Even though it was not as strong as before, it was still very frightening. Yang Wu held the divine shield pearl and poured his power into it, strengthening the divine shield. He quickly flew towards Little Hay. He was very worried about Little Hay's safety. Little Hay lived up to its name of Celestial Emperor. It shrunk its body and jumped down from the barrier wall. It cried out, "Woof, woof, this damned power almost killed this Celestial Emperor. Little Hay, you really are an undying cockroach. I thought you would die." Yang Wu sighed. "Tui, even if you die, this Celestial Emperor will not die. This Celestial Emperor has an undying body." Little Hay cursed. It paused for a moment, then said, "Let this Celestial Emperor absorb the heavenly astral chi here first." In the next moment, it opened its mouth, and a powerful suction force was born, sucking all the remaining heavenly astral chi in the passageway into its mouth. The heavenly astral chi was one of the most terrifying baleful auras in the world. Little Hay had actually devoured most of it in one go. It was not just a little powerful. It left behind some thin celestial astral chi, and said to Yang Wu, "Absorb the rest of the celestial astral chi." "I don't want to die." Yang Wu refused. Even though the heavenly astral chi here was much thinner, he did not think that he had the ability to absorb it. Little Hay burped and said, "There's still a trace of heaven and earth source chi." At this moment, Yang Wu no longer hesitated. He hurriedly sat down and began to circulate the supreme 9 profound arts to absorb the heaven and earth extreme chi. When this energy converged on him, he couldn't help sucking in a cold breath. His body trembled as he felt the pain of being skinned alive. The energy that seeped into his meridians was like a knife cutting into his meridians. It was extremely unbearable. This feeling was even more unbearable than when he was soaking in the dragon demonic pool. This was only a thin layer of heavenly astral chi. Little Wu, endure it. If you can refine a trace of heavenly astral chi, you will be immune to all kinds of baleful auras in the future. Little Hay's voice rang out. "Endure it!" Yang Wu gritted his teeth and decided to endure it. No matter how unbearable it was, he had to endure it. The heavenly astral chi entered his dantian, and his dantian converted it into pure energy. The energy in his dantian grew stronger, and the trace of heaven and earth source chi was directly absorbed by the immortal immortality peach tree. The immortal immortality peach tree could only grow by absorbing all kinds of top-grade energy. It was no wonder that Yang Wu's cultivation speed was greatly reduced. If the immortal immortality peach tree didn't absorb the energy, his cultivation speed would be much faster. Now Yang Wu didn't mind being absorbed by the immortal peach tree. This was an immortal peach tree. Even if it grew in its stomach, it would still be very useful in the future. especially when he heard Little Hay say that the dewdrop was a trace of essence energy condensed by the immortal peach tree. It had the effect of reviving the dead. Moreover, it could also improve one's physique. If it was consumed by an infant, it might not become an immortal physique, but it would definitely become a top-grade cultivation physique. It wouldn't be inferior to any innate physique. This was also the reason why his great-grandmother could come back from the dead and why the sacred mandala flower could be revived. Yang Wu had an impulse to refine the dewdrop. However, this thought was suppressed by Yang Wu. When he had obtained the immortality peach seed, his dantian had undergone earth-shaking changes. He had obtained an undying body that others couldn't compare to. The immortal dewdrop had an extraordinary significance, and he definitely couldn't use it casually. He planned to refine another drop when he broke through to the Star Rune realm. Moreover, according to Little Hay, the immortal dewdrop had the best effect the first time it was used. After the second time, it could only heal injuries at most. It wouldn't have the same effect as the first time. Yang Wu could also understand that a drop of immortal dewdrop was enough to change one's physique. No matter how many times it was used, it wouldn't directly turn one's physique into an immortal physique. After Yang Wu endured the pain of the heavenly astral qi, he slowly adapted to it. His mental strength had once again broken through the limit, and his soul had undergone a transformation. His battle soul had entered its strongest state. Even if it left his body to fight, it wouldn't be inferior to the strength of his true body. It might even have extraordinary abilities. Just as Little Hay had said, there wasn't much heavenly astral qi left. To Yang Wu, it could only temper his body, and also increase Yang Wu's strength. His realm had entered the peak of the mid-stage of the dragon transformation realm, which was a small improvement compared to before. Don't underestimate this small improvement. At his current realm, every small improvement required a lot of time and a large amount of energy to accumulate. The remaining heavenly astral qi here had helped him improve by a small step. This showed how extraordinary this energy was. If it was someone else without the help of the peach seed and directly absorbed this energy, they would definitely be corroded by the baleful aura and die. When Yang Wu woke up, his clothes were drenched. It was as if he had gone through an intense battle. Little Hay, is there mysterious essence qi behind the stone door? Yang Wu immediately asked Little Hay. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula had led him in this direction. Now, the feeling was still very strong. After absorbing the heavenly astral qi, he was even more certain that there was mysterious essence qi behind the stone door. Little Hay replied, "Yes, there should be a type of mysterious essence qi there. However, you don't have the right to obtain it now." "Why? Now that I've finally found a type of mysterious essence qi, you're telling me that I don't have the right to obtain it?" Yang Wu asked gloomily. "You're too weak. The heavenly astral qi is so terrifying. Look at the ashes on the ground. How do you think your body is compared to them?" Little Hay asked. "Then what should I do? Who knows where I'll be able to find mysterious essence qi next time? What else can I do? I'll leave here first and look for other types of mysterious essence qi. When my strength reaches a certain level, I'll be able to withstand the heavenly astral qi here. Moreover, the situation over there is extremely bad. I have to think of a foolproof plan." "Even you're afraid?" "What a joke. What's there to be afraid of? When I recover my peak strength, I can go anywhere. There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't do." Little Hay still didn't tell him what was outside the stone door. She only said that Yang Wu should at least reach the immortal ascension realm before he could consider coming here to obtain the mysterious essence qi. Yang Wu didn't give up. He couldn't force it. He was still too weak. Now, what he needed to do was to become the Dragon Emperor. No, it should be the Invincible Emperor. He wanted to become the strongest person in the younger generation. He sensed the changes in the Heavenly Dragon ranking. He was ranked 89th with a total of 211 victories. This ranking was very high for many geniuses. However, it was still too low for Yang Wu. Actually, he had already reached the top after killing the blood ghost in front of the dragon phoenix tree. However, during the time he was in the passageway, there were fierce battles happening outside. All the top geniuses were making use of the time to gain more victories. Many geniuses had already surpassed his ranking. Among them, the first palace lord started to show his prowess. He successfully reached the top of the ranking with 321 victories. The second was Little Thunder God Lei Bebe from the Purple Firmament Palace. This guy also obtained 300 victories in a row. As for Jin Qiu, Jiang Ping, and the other dark horses, they were all silent. They had all obtained their own gains, and were probably cultivating in seclusion. Once they came out, they would definitely amaze the world. On the Heavenly Phoenix ranking, Xianyuan Huowu still firmly occupied the first place. Following closely behind was a woman called Nangong Rose. She was the Rose of Death. After coming out of the passageway alive, her strength became even more abnormal. She was simply like a female Azura. Any creature that encountered her would be directly slaughtered by her. The third place was the violent woman, Zihong. Ziyu wasn't able to fight her way into the top 10, which was a bit disappointing. Her battle prowess was so strong that it would be difficult for her to obtain a good ranking if she hadn't entered the competition stage yet. Yang Wu couldn't help but feel anxious when he sensed the changes in the rankings. He was very worried that the battle between the dragons and the phoenixes would end soon. If that happened, his promise to his master would be considered a failure. Yang Wu shook off these thoughts and said to Little He, "I need to get out as soon as possible. I know even if you don't say it. Before you go out, you should clean up the trash here. It'll be quite useful for you," Little He replied. Yang Wu lightly nodded. His eyes were filled with joy as he muttered, "I almost died here. Now it's time to reap the rewards." The ancient bronze I had already broken through the restrictions here. Many of the skeletons had been destroyed and the remaining skeletons had lost their power. It would be easy to collect the items here. Yang Wu's gaze locked onto the two dragon and phoenix skeletons. They were closest to the stone door and hadn't been corroded by the heavenly astral chi. Their skeletons were incomparably precious to the dragon and phoenix clans. Little He reminded Yang Wu, "You can't touch these two skeletons." "Why?" Yang Wu asked. "The dragon phoenix tree's roots are here. That fellow won't agree. Could it be that its mission is to guard this place?" Chapter 1097. The dragon phoenix tree grew on this passage. Its power was not something an ordinary reaching heaven realm cultivator could compare to. It was an extremely powerful divine tree. Even such a divine tree could not withstand Little He's true flames. Little He's background was even more terrifying. The dragon and phoenix corpses supported the dragon phoenix tree, which was why the dragon phoenix tree was what it was today. Without these two corpses, the dragon phoenix tree would not have been able to grow. If Yang Wu wanted to take these two corpses, it would be no different from taking away its root. Yang Wu could only give up. However, he felt that the dragon phoenix tree would not mind if he took some of the corpses. Little He knew Yang Wu's character, so she could only let him do as he wished. Yang Wu approached the dragon and phoenix corpses. The dragon corpse was full of murderous aura, and the phoenix corpse's true flames were shocking. He looked at them with envy. If he could absorb the dragon corpse's murderous aura, his sacred dragon body would definitely improve. After absorbing the phoenix corpse's true flames, Blue Beauty would also undergo earth-shattering changes. It was a pity that he could not use these powers. He walked around for a while and saw a few huge dragon scales on the ground. There were also broken dragon bones and some rotten dragon tendons. He quickly picked them up. He also got a fragment of the dragon pearl. This was the source of the power of the true dragon clan. Even if it was just a small fragment, for Yang Zhenlong, it was the key to turning a flood dragon into a dragon. He didn't hesitate to put it away. Then, he obtained a few feathers from the phoenix corpse. The true flames on them were still extremely fierce. They were not inferior to Hua Hongyun's feather. Their level was even higher. Moreover, there was a phoenix eye that looked like a fireball at the edge of the barrier. When he saw it, he drooled. Before he could take it, Little Hay had already dashed over and taken the phoenix eye. "Little Hay, what are you doing? Give me back the phoenix eye," Yang Wu said anxiously. The phoenix eye was definitely the most precious thing. Little Hay had taken it first. "You won't be able to unleash its full potential in your hands, but in my hands, I can refine it into a heaven's eye," Little Hay replied. "What heaven's eye? What does it do?" Yang Wu asked. "You've heard of the divine fortune-telling tower, right? They're one of the most mysterious factions in the transcendental realm. They have refined heaven's eyes, but those heaven's eyes are extremely inferior and can only monitor the movements of weak living beings. However, I can use this phoenix eye to refine a high-grade heaven's eye that can monitor all movements in a realm. Even those Heaven Ascension realm ancient martial art practitioners cannot escape the detection of the heaven's eye," Little Hay said proudly. "So powerful!" Yang Wu exclaimed. He had read some records about the heaven's eye in books, but he didn't know what it was exactly like. After all, the heaven's eye was extremely difficult to refine. It required extraordinary means and the ability of a divine array master to refine the heaven's eye. "Little Wu, your skills are still too shallow," Little Hay said, rolling her eyes. Yang Wu knew Little Hay's abilities, and couldn't be bothered to argue with her. He continued to sweep through the ancient artifacts. The ground was littered with divine and holy artifacts. Although many of them had been destroyed, the ones that remained were all precious. No matter who obtained them, it would be a shocking harvest. Yang Wu felt as if he had entered a divine treasury and couldn't wait to collect everything. This is the Phoenix Crown. Although it's not as high grade as the Phoenix Corpse by the stone door, it's still at the Heaven Ascension realm. If I bring it back and give it to Sister Phoenix, she'll definitely like it. This divine map isn't destroyed either. Just what kind of background does it have to make the Prince of the Gu dynasty value it so highly? I'll bring it back and let the beautiful military advisor study it. Hey, there are runes on this divine bone. Could it be the inheritance of a foreign race? I can't let it go. If I trade it with the foreign race, I should be able to get a good return. This axe is quite sharp. It's called the Sky Dominating Axe. It suits Yangba well. This flood dragon's corpse is also quite complete. It must be of a very high grade. The flood dragons are lucky. Too many powerful creatures had died here, leaving behind many divine and holy artifacts. Yang Wu collected them all. Even a strand of silk was taken clean by him. This harvest was definitely many times more valuable than what was left in the beast taming hall. If he brought it back to the Yang family, it would definitely help the Yang family quickly return to being a major force. There was no need to be afraid of the Xing family. The top-grade saint garment that Yang Wu destroyed was also repaired. He took a Heaven Ascension battle armor from a corpse. Unfortunately, he was participating in the battle between the dragons and the phoenixes, so he couldn't use any Heaven Ascension items. Otherwise, it would be against the rules. He had no choice but to put it away and find a damaged armor to wear. Its defensive power should be no weaker than the original top-grade saint garment. In addition, he also found a spear that was suitable for him now. It was called the Luo Water Spear. It was a top-grade saint spear that used to be ranked in the top 50 on the divine weapon ranking. It had the Luo Water Spear technique, which was a Water Xian Qi saint technique. It made up for his lack of saint technique. The Luo family used to be an ancient family. They lived together with the Luo water. Their ancestor comprehended the Luo water spear technique in one fell swoop, helping the Luo family to become a wealthy family. The one who died here might be the ancestor of the Luo family. There were many treasures in the Ring of Cosmos. Yang Wu was too lazy to look through them one by one. He would open them one by one after leaving the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. In short, this was a fortune that even the Heaven Ascension experts would be jealous of. Yang Wu felt that happiness came too quickly. He couldn't help but sigh. One who survives a great disaster is bound to have good fortune. Young friend, you took all the divine items here. Shouldn't you give me something in return? A voice suddenly sounded in the tunnel. Yang Wu was shocked. He shrank back and shouted, "Little He, enemies are coming. Quickly meet them." Little He stayed on Yang Wu's shoulder. It turned its eyes and said, "Look at you. I don't know how you survived all these years." After a pause, it looked up and said, "Dragon Phoenix Tree, come out and talk." The next moment, a shadow appeared in the tunnel. It was the tree spirit of the Dragon Phoenix Tree. Its appearance was very strange. It had a phoenix crown on its head and dragon scales on its body. It looked like a chicken, but its body was like a snake. Its limbs were dragon claws. It had the obvious characteristics of the Dragon Clan and the Phoenix Clan. Yang Wu was stunned by the Dragon Phoenix Tree's appearance. He felt that it was more terrifying than the old treant he met before coming to the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. "I only want a drop of immortal dew," the Dragon Phoenix Tree said sincerely. "What are you going to give me in exchange?" Little He asked. "Everything in the tunnel. If I didn't let him take it, he wouldn't be able to take a single thing. Now that I've given it all to him, it's enough to exchange for a drop of immortal dew," the Dragon Phoenix Tree said calmly. "Woof, woof, you're just a divine tree that relied on the dragon and phoenix corpses to grow. Do you think you have the right to negotiate with this celestial emperor? Do you believe that I won't destroy your foundation and make it impossible for you to live?" Little He replied with a grin. When Little He was easy to talk to, it was very easy to talk to. When it wasn't, it wouldn't give face even if old monster Tongtian came. It was the one and only Little He. Yang Wu felt that Little He was really domineering now. After not seeing it for a few years, it really did look like a celestial emperor. He felt that if Little He could be his mount one day, he would be incomparably proud. "I only want a drop of immortal dew. I don't ask for anything else," the Dragon Phoenix Tree said firmly. It had stayed here for who knew how many tens of thousands of years, and it had basically evolved to the end. If it wanted to grow again, it would be extremely difficult. If it could obtain a drop of immortal dew, perhaps it would have a sliver of hope to escape from this predicament. "Little He, give him a drop," Yang Wu said from the side. There were still a few drops of immortal dew left. It would be fine to give him another drop. Moreover, he had indeed gained a lot, so giving up a drop of immortal dew was worth it. "Give my ass. That's all this celestial emperor's mouthwash," Little He said very domineeringly. Yang Wu's expression darkened. The immortal dew was still in his stomach, so how did it become Little He's mouthwash? This was practically an insult. "Take out a few dragon and phoenix battle armaments, and let him give it to you," Little He said to the Dragon Phoenix Tree. Others might not know about the existence of the dragon and phoenix battle armaments, but Little He was very clear about them. These were innate battle armaments that grew on the Dragon Phoenix Tree. Its level was even higher than the Phoenix Feather Fan and Dragon Spine Whip, and its power was boundless. The Dragon Phoenix Tree hesitated for a moment, and a dragon and phoenix sword appeared in its hand. It was surrounded by dragon and phoenix battle chi, and its battle chi was overwhelming. It was a rare innate battle armament. The Dragon Phoenix Tree threw it towards Yang Wu and said, "Take this dragon and phoenix sword, it's comparable to the sky-piercing artifacts." Before Yang Wu could catch it, Little He opened its mouth and kept the dragon and phoenix sword. "Little He," Yang Wu said loudly, "the innate dragon and phoenix sword was extremely valuable." He didn't even have the chance to touch it before Little He snatched it away from him. "This plaything is not something you can come into contact with. When you reach the Jade Moon Realm, I'll return it to you. That Phoenix Feather Fan is enough for you. However, this immortal emperor does not recommend you to rely on these Xiantian weapons. Only when your own strength reaches the strongest realm when your body is comparable to a sciention weapon, and any other weapons are like paper. Only then will you be invincible. My body can be comparable to innate battle armaments? Yang Wu was fooled by Little He. Now that he had the sacred dragon body, he was comparable to ordinary sacred weapons. If he could reach the innate battle armament physique that Little He mentioned, he might really be invincible. Of course, but it'll be a little difficult. Practice the 9 lightning body tempering art that I taught you. If you have nothing to do, you can run into a sea of lightning and refine your body into an innate battle armament physique, Little He said matter-of-factly. It didn't tell Yang Wu that those who refined their bodies into innate battle armaments were basically all dead. I want the immortal nectar. The dragon and phoenix tree didn't have time to listen to their chatter and interrupted them. This time, Yang Wu took the initiative to take out a drop of immortal nectar. However, he didn't give it to the dragon and phoenix tree immediately. He asked, "Can you tell me what other good things there are in this realm? For example, divine spring, divine soil, etc. I want to bring some out." With that, he gave the immortal nectar to the dragon and phoenix tree. The dragon and phoenix tree thought that Yang Wu would be a little hesitant. Seeing that he was so proactive, it quickly took the immortal nectar and said, "There's divine marrow in the east, true fire in the south, divine soil in the west, and cold spring in the north." With that, it disappeared into the passageway. It didn't want to stay a moment longer. It cursed in its heart, "Greedy black dog, greedy scum." Chapter 1098. With the appearance of the dragon and phoenix tree, Yang Wu and Little He could easily leave the enchantment passage. This time, Yang Wu returned with a bountiful harvest. His only regret was that Little He had snatched away his innate dragon and phoenix swords. However, he had ways to deal with Little He, and he also had the immortal dew. Little He was also tempted by the immortal dew, but it couldn't put down its pride to beg him for it. He could feel its feelings. If he took out another drop of immortal dew, Little He would definitely be willing to return the innate dragon and phoenix swords to him. However, Yang Wu didn't do so. He carefully thought about Little He's words and felt that it was just as it said. If he had the dragon and phoenix swords, he would probably rely on it. It wouldn't be too late to ask it for it when he became stronger in the future. Other than that, Yang Wu decided that after he left this place, he would hand over a portion of his divine items to the Yang clan to increase their foundation. Also, he was the successor of the Heavenly Palace. He had the obligation to strengthen the Heavenly Palace. Furthermore, he and Shou Ho had established the Wu Ho gang. They would need some divine items to hold the fort. Everything he had would be treated as the gang's cornerstone treasure. After Yang Wu and Little He left the enchantment passage, they realized that there wasn't a single person in this place. All the living beings had moved to other battlefield. Yang Wu remembered what the dragon and phoenix tree said: "There's divine marrow in the east, true fire in the south, divine soil in the west, and cold spring in the north." He was thinking about which direction to go. In the end, he decided to find his brothers and women first. After meeting up with them, he would look for those divine items. Yang Wu sensed the location of the others through the Heavenly Dragon Medallion. He first determined the location of Yu Yu. This was his most beloved woman. He would always put her first. She was a little far away from him. In the same direction, Little Man was the closest to him. That was the direction to the east. Yang Wu summoned 8th Zhu and had him carry him on his journey. He began to meditate and cultivate Lightning Finger and Luo Water Spear art. Lightning Finger was an indestructible finger technique. One must possess the power of thunder and lightning in order to practice this finger technique. Moreover, it had high requirements for the finger bones. If one's finger bones had not reached the Saint Realm, one would not be able to practice it. Otherwise, one's finger would be crippled. Yang Wu possessed the heavenly thunder bone, and every bone in his body had been tempered thousands of times. Hence, he was able to fulfill the requirements for the lightning finger. His fighting soul was constantly meditating and cultivating, striving to master the lightning finger in the shortest time possible. Yang Wu's soul power was extremely dense. It was at least comparable to a mid-tier saint. His comprehension ability was astonishing. He quickly cultivated the lightning finger to the proficient level. If he wanted to reach the great success level, he would have to experience actual combat. At this point, he changed to cultivating the Luo water spear art. This was also a top-tier saint skill. It was not inferior to the Yang clan's Chong clan's spear art. It was even more advanced than the Styx River spear art, passed down by his master Haoren. Under the verification of the 3 top-tier spear arts, Yang Wu quickly mastered them. He held the Luo water spear and stabbed out again and again. Streams of rivers surged endlessly in this world. It was as if a true dragon was overturning the seas and rivers. Its power was endless. The higher the level of the spear art, the more power it required. Fortunately, Yang Wu had the ability to support this burst of power. After he cultivated the Luo water spear art to the proficient level, he finally encountered living creatures. They were creatures from different races. After the other party met Yang Wu, they were also very surprised. When Yang Wu fell into the passage, the disaster of bones was astonishing. Everyone thought that he was dead for sure. However, he was still alive. How did he do it? Yang Wu looked at the 11 foreign race creatures and said indifferently, "You've been surrounded. If you surrender, you'll be spared the pain of your flesh." The 11 foreign race creatures were stunned for a moment. They looked around and then began to laugh loudly. "Yang Wu, where are your people? That little dog of yours dares to say that you've surrounded us. You really don't know how to write the word death." "That's right, since you were able to come out of the passage, you must have obtained quite a few good things. Hand them over and perhaps we'll spare your life." These foreign race creatures were not weak and their numbers were not small. Even though they knew that Yang Wu was strong, they still felt that they could take him down. "I gave you a chance, but you didn't want it. Then die," Yang Wu said indifferently. His finger condensed a purple energy and he pointed forward. Lightning finger. His finger was like lightning. It was as tyrannical as thunder. It was a one-hit kill. Pung! The leading foreign race creature didn't even have a chance to react. Yang Wu's finger pierced through the space between his eyebrows, killing him on the spot. The other foreign race creatures were all given a big fright. They immediately drew out their weapons and attacked Yang Wu in a frenzy. They didn't dare to hold back at all. They had to kill Yang Wu in the shortest time possible. Yang Wu looked at these slow attacks. His body moved, and his finger continuously pointed out. "I'll use you guys to practice my fingers," Yang Wu said. Finger lights burst out from his left and right index fingers. Streaks of purple lightning shot out and struck the vital points of the foreign race creatures in the blink of an eye, killing them on the spot. Not long after, the 11 foreign race creatures were all dead. The difference between them and Yang Wu was too great. Yang Wu's ranking rose to 79th place in an instant. He had risen by 10 places in one go. When his ranking changed, all the human prodigies quickly learned that Yang Wu was still alive. They couldn't figure out how Yang Wu had come out of the barrier passageway. At the same time, they thought that Yang Wu must have obtained a shocking harvest. Many of the prodigies' hearts burned with passion. If they could capture Yang Wu, they would definitely be able to obtain those treasures from him. However, they had all witnessed Yang Wu's strength. Blood Ghost and the others had all been wiped out by him. Who would dare to easily find trouble with him? Only the top 10 king tiers had the right to find trouble with Yang Wu. Yang Wu didn't care what others thought. He continued to move toward Little Man's position. Little Man was a beast tamer. Her talent in beast taming was unparalleled. She had brought hundreds of ferocious beasts into this place, shocking all the living creatures here. Many people were inquiring about her background. Among them, the Sacred Flame sect had their eyes on her. The Sacred Flame sect and the barbarian tribe had deep ties. Little Man's twin sister, Huang Fu Mingyu, had joined the Sacred Flame sect. However, Huang Fu Mingyu's strength was limited, so she couldn't participate in this battle between dragons and phoenixes. In another 50 years, she would definitely be qualified. When the people from the Sacred Flame sect saw Little Man, they initially thought that Huang Fu Mingyu had snuck in. Later, they realized that Little Man wasn't Huang Fu Mingyu. The two of them only looked similar, but their temperaments were completely different. Huang Fu Mingyu had the aura of the barbarian tribe. Her body was larger than Little Man's, and she appeared to be more voluptuous and tall. The heroic and generous nature of the barbarian tribe was unmistakable. On the other hand, when Little Man didn't release her barbarian chi, she was the delicate and pure type. She was like a little girl next door. Originally, Little Man had been waiting in front of the barrier passage for Yang Wu to come out. Even though there was a disaster of skeletons, she insisted on staying. This caused many of her ferocious beasts to be killed by the skeletons. Fortunately, she had a large number of ferocious beasts. Moreover, there were other living creatures attracting the skeletons. In the end, her ferocious beast army was left with only a little over 100. Previously, when she was fighting against the prodigies of the Battle League, she had also lost many ferocious beasts. Even though the number of ferocious beasts had decreased sharply, Little Man didn't care. She only cared about her young master's life and death. She couldn't wait for her young master to come out. Instead, it was the living creatures of the demon tribe who attacked her. Blood-sucking demons, this kind of terrifying demon tribe that lived by devouring the blood of living creatures. They had their eyes on Little Man's ferocious beast army. They launched an attack on Little Man, and Little Man had no choice but to engage in an intense battle with them. Little Man's ferocious beast army had decreased sharply again. If she didn't have a few saint-level ferocious beasts, she really wouldn't have been able to deal with these blood-sucking demons that were everywhere. At the crucial moment, the people from the Sacred Flame sect appeared to help Little Man and drove the blood-sucking demons away. The people from the Sacred Flame sect also took the opportunity to tell Little Man about Huang Fu Mingyu. Little Man was stunned. She had always thought that her dead parents were her biological children. Who would have thought that a younger sister and biological parents would suddenly appear? She wasn't a fool. At first, she didn't believe it. However, the people from the Sacred Flame sect swore that it was true. Moreover, some of them had the blood of the barbarian tribe flowing in their veins. It really made her feel a sense of familiarity. Hence, Little Man was convinced by them and temporarily stayed with them. Originally, she insisted on waiting for Yang Wu. However, the other party said that if Yang Wu was still alive, he would definitely come to find her. She couldn't just keep waiting. After the battle between the dragons and the phoenixes ended, they would bring her back to the Sacred Flame sect to reunite with Huang Fu Mingyu. The leader of the Sacred Flame sect was the previous generation's saintess, Tuoba Fian. She was an extremely strong woman. She was tall and strong. Ordinary men couldn't compare to her. She also had the blood of the barbarian tribe flowing in her veins. She was now ranked in the top 30 of the Heavenly Phoenix leaderboard. Her combat strength was extraordinary. There were also two other monsters with extraordinary strength. They were Yin Jiangxia and Aliang. They were both ranked in the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon leaderboard. The three of them represented the strongest strength of the Sacred Flame sect's younger generation. Their previous generation's saint had accidentally fallen in the Spirit Barrier passageway. Otherwise, with the addition of their previous generation's saint, their group's strength would be extraordinary. Yin Jiangxia and Ali Ong both liked Little Man. This girl was too pure and beautiful. Moreover, she was a rare beast tamer. If they married her, it would be a great help. Yin Jiangxia was handsome and elegant. He frequently attacked Little Man. Ali Ong didn't speak much. He always stayed by Little Man's side, silently protecting this girl. Little Man, this is a gift for you. I hope you like it. I am willing to become your warrior and protect you for the rest of my life. Yin Jiangxia took out a beautiful universe ornament and gave it to little man. He knelt down on one knee and said. Ali Eng's eyelids twitched. He wanted to rush over and challenge Yin Jiangxia. In the end, he held back. He wanted to see what little man would do. The beautiful eyes of the other girls of the Sacred Flame sect dimmed. They had a good impression of Yin Jiangxia, and all wanted to become his cultivation partner. However, little man's appearance had stolen their limelight. Little man panicked and said, "No. I cannot accept you. I will stay by my young master's side for the rest of my life. I will not marry anyone." "Xiao man, I'm very touched by your kindness, but your young master will never appear again in this lifetime. You should forget about him, I'll take care of you," Yin Jiangxia said emotionally. Tuoba Fian said faintly, "Jiangxia is not bad. Little man, you should accept him." Just as little man didn't know how to reply, a voice sounded, "Who said I will never appear again?" Chapter 1099. Little man was a very innocent girl. She was not good at handling interpersonal relationship. If little Hay had not been by her side, she would have been sold off by others. Fortunately, she was rather stubborn. She only had her young master, Yang Wu, in her heart. She felt that there was no one better than her young master in the world. As long as she could silently protect her young master, she would be satisfied for the rest of her life. She did not have many complicated thoughts in her mind. When Yin Jiangxia suddenly confessed to her, she really did not know how to reject him. Tuoba Fian was a very strong woman. She was the leader of the Sacred Flame sect team. She treated little man very well and cared a lot about her. However, she supported Yin Jiangxia on this matter. Not only did Yin Jiangxia have a good character, but he was also very talented. It seemed good for him to be with little man. Moreover, this was also a method to recruit little man. As long as little man was willing to follow Yin Jiangxia, it was equivalent to the Sacred Flame sect having another female prodigy in the top 100 of the Heavenly Phoenix list. Just as little man did not know how to reject him, Yang Wu arrived. He sat cross-legged on 8th Zhu and quickly rushed over. His gaze landed on little man. Seeing that she was unharmed, he was relieved. "Young master," little man saw Yang Wu and instantly cried out in surprise. Then, she quickly flew towards Yang Wu. She was like a child who had seen her family for a long time. She was very happy and excited. She knew that her young master would not die. When little man came in front of him, Yang Wu gently stroked her hair and smiled. "Are you all right?" Little man especially liked how intimate Yang Wu was with her. Her delicate face flushed red. "I'm fine. As long as young master is fine, little man will be fine." Incorrigible girl. Little Hay, who was on Yang Wu's shoulder, rolled her eyes. Only little Hay knew how deep little man's love for Yang Wu was. When Yin Jiangxia saw that Yang Wu was so intimate with little man, his handsome face was suffused with a trace of ruthlessness. He regarded little man as his own woman. How could he allow others to touch her? He strode towards Yang Wu and said to Yang Wu, "Yang Wu, I don't care how you treated little man before, but now I hope you will treat her with a little respect. I love her, I want to take her as my wife, please don't stop me." Without waiting for Yang Wu to reply, the little man hurriedly said to Yang Wu, "Young master, don't believe him. I don't want to marry him." After pausing for a moment, she shyly added, "I want to serve young master for the rest of my life." Yang Wu smiled very happily and said, "You heard it. Little man doesn't like you, so don't waste your time." He then emphasized, "If little man is willing to be with you, I have no objections. If she isn't willing, even if the Heavenly Emperor wants to marry her, he or she will have to ask this young master for permission. Little man, my feelings for you are true. I will use the rest of my life to protect you and be your warrior." Yin Jiangxia once again said affectionately to little man. Little man looked at Yin Jiangxia and said, "Thank you, but I still like to stay by young master's side. I heard that he and Fairy Yu are a couple. Why do you have to do this?" Yin Jiangxia said with a frown. Here, another person from the Sacred Flame sect said. It seems that the Heng Mountain sect's Miss Shu also has an unclear relationship with him. So what? I am young master's servant. No matter how many wives young master has, little man will serve young master. Little man said with a face full of innocence. She had always been very clear about her position. She was young master's servant, and her life was to serve young master. The Sacred Flame sect's geniuses were speechless at little man's reply. They felt that Yang Wu must have cast a soul-controlling technique on little man or a love goo. Otherwise, why would she be so stubborn? All right, since you know little man, I won't pursue this matter. You can leave. Yang Wu said with a wave of his hand. The Sacred Flame sect's people were stunned once again. From Yang Wu's tone, it seemed that he was the one who let them go. This was too disrespectful of them. They had a total of 45 people, and basically all of them were from the Sacred Flame sect. There were also a few geniuses from their region. Their group wasn't the strongest here, but ordinary creatures wouldn't dare to provoke them. Yang Wu was only one person, so what right did he have to disregard them? Yin Jiangxia angrily shouted. Yang Wu, name a price. I will redeem little man. Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and said, Didn't you hear what I just said? If little man is willing to follow you, I definitely won't stop her. But little man doesn't like you, so please don't pester her anymore. Otherwise, I don't mind using you guys to increase my chances of winning. Alright. Then I'll challenge you now. If you lose, give little man to me. That should be fine, right? Yin Jiangxia really liked little man, so he had to keep little man no matter what. Young master, let's go. Ignore them, little man said as she gently tugged on Yang Wu's arm. Little man, don't tell me you don't want to see your sister? Yin Jiangxia asked again. Suddenly, little man became hesitant. She asked Yang Wu, Young master, they said that I have a sister in the Sacred Flame sect. I don't know if it's true. Then she looked at Little He and said, Little He, you also said that I have a sister called Huang Fu Mingyu, right? That's right. She's in the barbarian tribe. Little He nodded in response. Yang Wu also said from the side, That's right. You have a twin sister called Huang Fu Mingyu. She's the princess of the barbarian tribe in the mortal world. Right now, she's in the Sacred Flame sect. Little man, you heard it. As long as you come back with me, you can reunite with your sister. Yin Jiangxia said expectantly. At this moment, Arian also calmly said, Little man, stay. Little man was in a difficult position. She had always thought that she was an orphan, but now she was sure that she had a sister. She really wanted to see her sister again, but she couldn't bear to part with the young master. What should she do? Yang Wu said, Little man, do you trust the young master? Little man hurriedly replied, Of course I trust the young master. Then I'll leave the matters here to the young master. You can just watch from the side. Yang Wu softly replied. He then looked at Yin Jiangxia and the other members of the Sacred Flame sect and said, I want to challenge all of you. If you win, little man will go with you. I won't interfere. If I win, you'll listen to me. Do you dare to accept? As Yang Wu said this, he looked at Tuoba Fian. He realized that this woman was the leader of the Sacred Flame sect. Challenging us? You sure talk big. I can defeat you by myself. Yin Jiangxia shouted and impatiently attacked Yang Wu. Sacred Flame Seal. Yin Jiangxia didn't show any mercy. He directly released 120% of his celestial qi, condensing the Sacred Flame sect's unique palm seal and blasting it towards Yang Wu. The Sacred Flame sect was named Sacred Flame because the founder of the sect was a great figure who cultivated fire celestial qi. He had once obtained a ball of sacred flame and rose to power, becoming a powerhouse. The Sacred Flame seal was a unique skill left behind by the founder. Combined with firepower, it could unleash an extremely powerful combat strength. As one of the top 3 prodigies of the Sacred Flame sect, The power of Yin Jiangsha's palm strike was enough to fight against a first-grade star-pattern realm saint. However, this kind of strength was nothing in Yang Wu's eyes. The black tortoise battle chi flowed around Yang Wu's body. It was like an 8 trigrams formation defense that directly reflected the power of Yin Jiangsha's palm strike. As he grew stronger, his ability to deflect attacks became even more powerful. He could deflect ordinary saint energy attacks with a 100% success rate, or even deflect them back. Yin Jiangxia was shocked by the rebounding power. Fortunately, he dodged quickly. Otherwise, he would have been burned by his own firepower. Yang Wu didn't take the opportunity to attack. He said faintly, "Even if there were another 100 of you, you wouldn't be a match for me." The prodigies of the Sacred Flame sect were shocked. They didn't expect Yang Wu to have such strength. Yin Jiangxia was infuriated by Yang Wu. He shouted, "Arrogant!" In the next moment, a sacred weapon appeared in his hand. He leaped high and the sacred weapon descended from the sky, aiming directly at Yang Wu. He raised the fire to burn the sky. An intense firepower turned into a fire dragon that was thousands of feet long. It roared and bit at Yang Wu. This power was much stronger than the previous palm strike. Firstly, he didn't hold back anymore. Secondly, the sacred weapon had the power to increase combat strength. Yang Wu still didn't take this move seriously. Just as he was about to counterattack and take down Yin Jiangxia, the little man made a move first. "You're not allowed to bully my young master." The little man shouted and threw a punch at Yin Jiangxia. An ancient bull appeared out of thin air and charged towards Yin Jiangxia fiercely. No one expected the little man to make a move. Moreover, her speed was very fast. When she finished speaking, her fist had already swung out. The fist force tore through the air and instantly collided with the fire dragon that Yin Jiangxia had thrown out. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as profound qi splashed out in all directions. The space seemed to tremble as the fire dragon exploded. Yin Jiangxia was sent flying while vomiting blood. The people of the Sacred Flame sect were dumbfounded. They only knew that the little man was a beast tamer and thought that her combat strength wasn't very strong. Only now did they realize that they had greatly underestimated the little man's combat strength. She was definitely a top-notch monster. The authentic barbarian god fist. Tuoba Fian exclaimed. The Sacred Flame sect also had the barbarian fist battle technique. It was a battle technique left behind by the barbarian tribe. However, it wasn't the most original set of divine skills. At best, it was a set of sacred skills. At this moment, the little man's barbarian fist was more exquisite and pure than the barbarian fist left behind by the Sacred Flame sect. This could be seen from the barbarian fist dharma that she had unleashed. Yang Wu looked at the little man with a bitter smile and said, "Little man, you're stealing the young master's limelight." The little man pouted and said with certainty, "I won't allow anyone to bully the young master." Yang Wu laughed happily and said, "Haha, little man, don't worry. If the young master can't handle it, he'll definitely ask for your help. Right now, the young master wants to fight for the title of Invincible Emperor. So in the next battle, can you help the young master hold the line?" Chapter 1100. The Invincible King was the strongest invincible king among the younger generation, and only then could he have such a title. Yang Wu was very ambitious. He didn't want to wait any longer. He had already obtained the god treasury of the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. It was time for him to win. Yang Wu's words had completely infuriated the Sacred Flame sect's sky prides. All of them started shouting at Yang Wu. "Yang Wu, you're too arrogant. Do you really think we're pushovers? Since he wants to challenge us, let's fulfill his wish. Chop him into mincemeat. Saint Master Yang Wu, I respectfully call you Saint Master. Why don't you join our Sacred Flame sect? Otherwise, you won't be able to leave here today. Why are you still talking nonsense? Everyone, let's kill him together." The Sacred Flame sect was one of the major powers. These geniuses all had the ability to fight above their level. Even if Yang Wu was very strong, they didn't think that Yang Wu could defeat them all by himself. All talk and no action. Hurry up and attack together. Yang Wu continued to provoke them. Little Man had already obediently retreated to the back. Little Hay also jumped on her body. She nestled in her ample bosom and dozed off. It seemed that she had no interest in watching this battle. Tuoba Fian pressed her hand down and asked Yang Wu, have you decided to challenge us? Stop talking nonsense. I don't have time to joke with you. Yang Wu lazily said. Okay, I'll fulfill your wish. Tuoba Fian was a capable woman. She responded and said to the Sacred Flame sect members behind her, set up the formation and defeat him. Let him see the power of our Sacred Flame sect's Sacred Flame formation. As soon as she finished speaking, 18 people rushed out from behind her. These 18 people were all disciples of the Sacred Flame sect. All of them had high fighting spirit and were full of fire. They stood in different positions and formed a formation surrounding Yang Wu. All of their auras were completely locked onto Yang Wu. Tuoba Fian took out a flaming flag and waved it. Sacred Fire Formation, rise. As she waved the fire flag, a raging fire soared into the sky, forming the shadow of a fire bird. Upon closer inspection, it was the shadow of a three-legged golden crow. This was the Divine Sunbird, a top-tier spirit demon that was on par with the Phoenix clan. In the next moment, the other 18 people each took out a fire flag and waved it at the same time. Flames shot up into the sky and gathered with Tuoba Fian's three-legged golden crow. They formed an even larger three-legged golden crow that seemed to come alive. The raging flames enveloped Yang Wu. Kill! Tuoba Fian shouted. Together with the other 18 people, she waved the fiery flag and fired all the firepower at Yang Wu. The formation's firepower created by the 19 prodigies caused a huge commotion. The pressure it created was enough to make even mid-level saints retreat. This was the strongest trump card of the Sacred Flame sect. It was even stronger than an individual's innate ability. They were confident that any peerless genius would die in the Sacred Fire Formation. Yang Wu sensed the uniqueness of this Sacred Fire Formation, and a look of surprise appeared on his face as he said, as expected of a giant force. The power of a battle formation formed casually is already so frightening. If it was in the past, Yang Wu might have competed with his opponent in terms of combat strength and used brute force to break through the Sacred Fire Array. But now, he didn't want to do that. He only wanted to end the battle quickly and seize victory for himself as soon as possible. Ice Wing Blade. An invisible blade of extreme cold flew out of the kidney. It split into two and flew toward different prodigies of the Sacred Flame sect. Yang Wu didn't choose to attack Tuoba Fian. He could sense that she was powerful. If he attacked her with the Ice Wing Blade first, she would probably sense it. The others probably didn't have the ability to do so. Yang Wu didn't want to kill all of them. The Ice Wing Blade only brushed past their hands that were holding the flags, cutting their tendons. The extreme cold also frostbitten their arms. The fire flags naturally fell from their hands. As several people were injured, the Sacred Fire Array was instantly broken. More than half of the firepower aura was disintegrated, and the power of the three-legged golden crows was reduced by half. Yang Wu's heart flame rushed out and turned into a black tortoise to devour the three-legged golden crows. Blue Demonis had absorbed a lot of true phoenix fire here. Its firepower was stronger than before. Furthermore, it had gained intelligence. As long as Yang Wu gave it an order, it could cooperate with Yang Wu's mysterious flame technique to attack. It had a very powerful combat power. Bang! The two firepower collided. Sparks flew everywhere like fireworks. It was extremely beautiful. Yang Wu's black tortoise activated his battle chi. He ignored the falling sparks and continued to multitask. He controlled the Ice Wing Blade to cut at the other Sacred Fire sect prodigies. These prodigies basically couldn't sense the arrival of the Ice Wing Blade. Their arms were all injured, and the sacred fire formation had completely collapsed. When the Ice Wing Blade cut toward Tuoba Fian, she had already reacted. A pair of bracers appeared on her arms, blocking the Ice Wing Blade. Clank! A crisp sound rang out. A layer of ice crystals appeared on her bracers, freezing her arms. There is indeed something wrong. Tuoba Fian shouted. The power of the sacred fire flowed on her arms, quickly forcing the extreme cold out of her body. At the same time, she waved the fire flag at Yang Wu. The three-legged golden crows continued to attack Yang Wu. The fire of the three-legged golden crows couldn't be ignored. Tuoba Fian was the previous saintess of the sacred fire sect. Her foundation was extremely strong. She wouldn't admit defeat so easily. Yang Wu easily controlled Blue Demoness to block the fire of the three-legged golden crows. He also absorbed the firepower. He stared at Tuoba Fian and murmured to himself, "Let's see what this woman's trump card is." Suddenly, Tuoba Fian threw the fire flag in her hand at Yang Wu. This was a sacred flag. The firepower it contained was very fierce. When she threw it with all her strength, it created an even stronger fire. The three-legged golden crows covered an area of 1 square mile. If this was the outside world, at least 10 miles of land would be affected. The environment here was unique. All powers were suppressed, including the power of a sacred weapon. Next, Tuoba Fian used her innate ability. She leaped into the air and kicked furiously at Yang Wu with both legs. 4th level of the barbarian race, brute force. Swallowtail scissors. Tuoba Fian was from the barbarian race. Her body contained the barbarian blood. She had awakened to the 4th level. Her brute force exploded to the extreme. Combined with her special ability, it formed a huge swallowtail scissors. Wherever the terrifying scissors went, a deep crack appeared on the hard ground. It was powerful enough to threaten a 3rd-level Starmark Realm Saint. Yang Wu's eyes narrowed. He stared at Tuoba Fian's move. He could feel that she had cultivated this talent to the extreme. If he was in the dragon transformation realm before, it would have been difficult for him to block this move. Now, he took a deep breath and released Blue Demoness' power to the maximum to deal with the fire flag. He jumped up from the ground and kicked out his special ability like Tuoba Fian. Wind God Kick. Yang Wu had trained every level of his cultivation to the extreme, and his talent and potential had been released to the maximum. However, he still felt that he was lacking something and had not reached the perfect state. When he saw Tuoba Fian's kick, he understood the crux of the matter. If one's talent power was combined with a corresponding battle skill, the power would be greatly increased. It was the same logic as when he merged his footwork into his speed. If he cultivated a leg battle skill, his Wind God's kick would be even more powerful. The two leg skills clashed. The giant scissors and the storm clashed. Countless leg shadows crisscrossed and scraped the hard ground. It created a shocking destructive power. The two of them did not know how many times they kicked. Finally, one of them was sent flying. That person was Tuoba Fian. Her talent was very strong, but Yang Wu was not weak either. He could even last longer than her. The speed of his kicks was also faster. In the end, Yang Wu won by a little. The key was that Yang Wu's foundation was strong. The power of the extreme qi circulation was not to be underestimated. Furthermore, he had the sacred dragon body. These factors were the key to defeating Tuoba Fian. When the other members of the Sacred Fire sect saw this, they quickly unleashed their combat strength and charged at Yang Wu again. They had not been defeated yet. Yang Wu had said that he would challenge all of them by himself. Before they could reach Yang Wu, Tuoba Fian's voice rang out. "All of you stop." Most of the members of the Sacred Fire sect obeyed Tuoba Fian's order and stopped attacking. Only one person disobeyed the order. That was Arian. He was like a lion as he opened his mouth and roared. A powerful sound wave enveloped Yang Wu. Apart from that, He gathered all his strength on the combat weapon in his hand and stabbed it at Yang Wu's forehead. Arian's strength was not inferior to Yin Jiangxia's. Furthermore, he also had a talent. Once he went all out, no one could ignore him. The power of the sound wave could reach one's soul and hurt one's ears. Normal creatures would not be able to withstand it. Yang Wu's soul power was extremely strong. He could withstand the power of Arian's sound wave. When the opponent's combat weapon was about to reach his forehead, he moved his body and flicked his finger. A bolt of lightning went straight for Arian. Lightning finger. Pang. Arian couldn't dodge Yang Wu's finger and was hit hard. The demi-sacred armor on his body instantly cracked, and the majestic power of thunder and lightning instantly electrocuted him and made him twitch and fall to the ground. Yang Wu dashed out like a bolt of lightning. He lifted one of his feet and stomped on Arian's face. "Please be lenient. We admit defeat." Tuoba Fian cried out. Yang Wu's foot also stopped an inch away from Arian's face. Arian was so scared that he closed his eyes. His whole body was covered in cold sweat. If he had been a little slower, he would have been crushed to death by this powerful foot. I should have admitted defeat. Chapter 1101. The Sacred Flame sect had the advantage in numbers, so they still had the strength to fight back. They weren't afraid of Yang Wu. They still had the Imperial Edict and sacred weapons to use. They didn't understand why Tuoba Fian would admit defeat. Tuoba Fian couldn't be bothered to explain it to them. The fact that Yang Wu was able to come out alive proved that he had extraordinary abilities. Moreover, in the battle just now, she deeply experienced Yang Wu's strength and his formless attack talent. The others might not be able to block him. If Yang Wu had attacked them instead of cutting off their tendons, they would have died long ago. Tuoba Fian chose to surrender to reduce the number of casualties. This was the wisest choice. Voluntarily surrendering counts as half. Give me half of all your jade tokens. As for the other spoils, forget about it. Yang Wu was quite easy to talk to. If it were anyone else, they would have taken all the tokens. But now, he was only taking half. This was quite humane. No one from the Sacred Flame sect was willing to hand over their jade tokens. They could pass them on to others in the sect in the future. If they handed them over now, they wouldn't be able to give them to their own people in the future. Tuoba Fian also knew that Yang Wu's suggestion wasn't unreasonable. She hurriedly urged the others to take out their jade tokens. During this time, they had won many battles and obtained some jade tokens from others. Giving some to Yang Wu wouldn't be a problem. Senior sister, why should we give him our jade tokens? At most, we'll fight him to the death, a Sacred Flame sect genius said unhappily. You may want to die, but I don't, Tuoba Fian said bluntly. Yang Wu had killed many Blood Ghost members in front of the Dragon Phoenix tree. Many people had witnessed that battle. If Yang Wu really went on a killing spree, not many of them would be able to escape. That Sacred Flame sect genius was speechless after hearing Tuoba Fian's words. Even his senior sister wasn't a match for him. If he rushed up, he would die. After thinking about it, he could only take out his jade tokens and give them to Tuoba Fian. Tuoba Fian took 15 jade cards to Yang Wu and said, "Here are the jade cards." They all admitted defeat. "Are you happy now?" Yang Wu bluntly took the jade tablet and said with a smile, "It's all right. I didn't plan to start with you guys, but you guys came to me on your own accord. Now, you guys can come with me." Yang Wu also knew that these 15 jade tokens were not half of what the Sacred Flame sect had. However, he did not bother about it. As long as he could obtain victory, it would be fine. By the time these people admitted defeat, he had already won dozens of matches. His ranking instantly rose to the top 50, reaching the 45th place. He was only a few victories away from the top 20. "Are you trying to recruit us?" Tuoba Fian asked. "I guess so. After we go out, we will go our separate ways." Yang Wu didn't deny it and nodded. "That's good. If we meet other opponents and gain something, we will need a corresponding reward." Tuoba Fian was very straightforward. She agreed to Yang Wu's request and also gave him a condition. Of course, Yang Wu had no objections to Tuoba Fian's suggestion. Just like that, Yang Wu recruited Tuoba Fian and the dozens of people. He officially became the leader of this group. He planned to continue looking for other groups and call them the Marquee Gang. He couldn't disappoint Skinny Monkey. The group didn't waste any time and continued east. Yang Wu's goal was to find Ziyu. They were already husband and wife, so their time here was limited. They would spend as much time together as they could. On the way, Yang Wu and Tuoba Fian chatted very happily. Tuoba Fian had the straightforward personality of the barbarian race. She was very direct and didn't beat around the bush. Yang Wu liked to make friends with people like this. He didn't like those who were cunning. He learned from Tuoba Fian that a god skeleton came out of the spirit formation tunnel and slaughtered many creatures. However, after the god skeleton left the tunnel, it couldn't last for long. Its power was exhausted, and in the end, even the skeleton was stolen by other creatures. Today, creatures from various races were still looking for other fortunes. At the same time, they increased the speed at which they competed for the rankings. She also heard that the leader of the Ming Gang, Kuan Mingzi, was pursuing Ziyu. Purple Sky Hall's Violent Woman, Zi Hong, and Little Thunder God, Lei Beibei, liked Kuan Mingzi. They wanted to pair them up. When Yang Wu heard this, a trace of killing intent flashed across his face. However, it quickly disappeared. Ziyu was so beautiful. Many people followed her, but how many were good enough for her? Plus, he believed in Ziyu's feelings for him. She wouldn't betray him. The only thing that disgusted him was Kuan Mingzi. That guy seemed to be haunting him. Meng Bingxue also entered the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. But where was she now? Tuoba Fian took the opportunity to ask Yang Wu about what happened in the spirit formation tunnel. Yang Wu gave a simple explanation. He said that behind the stone door, there was Heaven Star Chi that came out and destroyed many skeletons. That was how he was able to escape. Tuoba Fian didn't believe it was that simple, but seeing that Yang Wu didn't want to say anything, she didn't force him. Who didn't have their own secrets? Little Man stayed by Yang Wu's side obediently. She didn't interrupt their conversation. She had a happy smile on her face. It seemed that as long as she was by her young master's side, she would feel happy. On the way, they encountered some high-quality stones. The people from the Sacred Flame sect didn't want to let go of these stones. They asked Tuoba Fian for instructions. She asked for Yang Wu's opinion. After Yang Wu nodded, they allowed them to dig for stones. The ordinary stones in this region were all of good quality. They were all materials needed for refining. The stones in front of them were of a higher grade. They were all minor saint materials. There were even a few pieces of saintly materials. Yang Wu didn't care much about these stones. He urged them to finish digging quickly so that they could continue on their way. There were quite a few people in their group. After collecting some of the better quality stones, they continued on their way. Yang Wu only collected 2 pieces of saintly materials and some minor saintly materials. He left the rest for them to divide. Now that he had a divine treasure, these materials were just icing on the cake. After they set off again, they were attacked by a group of spirit demons. This group of spirit demons wasn't any less than Yang Wu's group. They were led by a golden-crowned eagle. This golden-crowned eagle was the overlord of the sky. It was very fast and had strong combat power. This was why they had the confidence to attack Yang Wu's group. This golden-crowned eagle could even kill a flood dragon. He transformed into his human form. His eyes were cold as he looked at Yang Wu's group with disdain. This group had never been to the Dragon Phoenix Tree's territory. They also didn't see what happened in the boundary passage. Therefore, they didn't know how strong Yang Wu was. They only thought that they were a group of human prodigies and didn't care about them at all. Let's see who kills the most. Tuoba Fian provoked Yang Wu. That's easy. I want that eagle to be my mount. Yang Wu smiled. In the next moment, they charged towards the spirit demons like tigers released from their cages. The other members of the Sacred Flames sect also attacked. Although they admitted defeat to Yang Wu, they had only lost one battle. It wasn't that they couldn't compete for a higher ranking. As long as they had the jade plates, they could continue to increase their chances of winning. After Yang Wu attacked, the golden-crowned eagle knew that something big had happened. The human prodigy in front of him was like a real dragon. He couldn't bear the terrifying pressure. After the battle started, he was even more restrained. Soon, he was beaten up badly by Yang Wu. He didn't want to admit defeat, but after Yang Wu plucked his feathers, he had no choice but to surrender. Yang Wu stepped on him and ordered, "Tell your subordinates to admit defeat to this young master. Otherwise, I'll kill you first, then I'll kill them. Capture the thief first." Yang Wu was very familiar with this move. The golden-crowned eagle didn't want to die. It could only listen to Yang Wu's orders. It told all its underlings to stop fighting and admitted defeat to Yang Wu. Tuoba Fian felt helpless. It was too easy for Yang Wu to win. There was nothing she could do about it. Who asked him to be so strong? If she were to fight the golden-crowned eagle, they might not be able to determine the winner in a short time. Moreover, she didn't dare to say that she would win. At most, she would have a 50-50 chance. The golden-crowned eagle's strength was ranked in the top 50 of the Green Demon leaderboard. Yang Wu's group recruited another wave of spirit demons. Their team had more than 100 members. It looked like their team had grown quite a bit. Originally, these spirit demons disdained to team up with humans. However, Little Man was there. She was a natural beast tamer. No matter if it was spirit demons or ferocious beasts, she had a natural affinity with them. She could communicate with them intimately. Thus, these spirit demons willingly joined the team. After Yang Wu recruited these spirit demons, his victory count instantly neared 300. He reached the 11th place on the Heavenly Dragon leaderboard. He only needed 2 more victories to squeeze into the top 10. With his 11th place, he could be called a Dragon King. That was because the first place on the Heavenly Dragon leaderboard was called the Dragon Emperor. The next 10 places were called Dragon Kings. He happened to be at the 11th place. Yang Wu's speed of winning had frightened many of the geniuses. Could it be that he had obtained a shocking inheritance from the boundary passage and his combat strength had increased? Haha, I knew Big Brother wouldn't die. How could a mere boundary passage trap him? In a certain direction, the skinny monkey-like Sun Do couldn't help but laugh wildly. Along with him was Sun Qian. The rest of the Martial Marquis gang members weren't there. When Yang Wu was trapped in the boundary passage, he had dismissed all of them. Yang Wu was the leader of the Martial Marquis gang. If something happened to him, what was the use of keeping the others? This Yang Wu does have some skills. It would be best if we can rope him in by our side in the future. Sun Qian faintly said. Let me tell you, if you're willing to follow my big brother, I can talk to him. However, if you dare to have any bad ideas about my big brother, don't blame me for being impolite. Sun Do glared at Sun Qian and said, "Heh, a little brat. This lord doesn't put him in my eyes." Sun Qian coldly laughed. After pausing for a moment, he said, "Quickly go and finish off the last few pieces of trash from the Death God clan. We definitely can't let them leave here alive. In the near future, we must slaughter the entire Death God clan and take back our territory. Don't worry. None of them will be able to escape." Chapter 1102. The Dragon Phoenix Abyss was a gray world. It was the size of a realm, and no one would be able to traverse this place in a short period of time. Moreover, the gravity here was much stronger than the outside world, and everyone's movement speed was more than 10 times slower. According to the time outside, the prodigies had already been in the Dragon Phoenix Abyss for close to 4 months. During these 4 months, the rankings had been constantly changing. The truly powerful prodigies had already begun to dominate the rankings, and some prodigies had also unexpectedly fallen. It was truly a tragedy for the heavens. The journey to the Dragon Phoenix Abyss could end at any time, and everyone was looking for different opponents to battle. They wanted to obtain the best rankings as quickly as possible. Yang Wu, who was supposed to be dead, had suddenly appeared. Moreover, he had charged into the top 10 in a short period of time, shocking everyone. They were all wondering if Yang Wu had already obtained the supreme inheritance in the passageway. Otherwise, how could he have obtained so many victories in such a short period of time? Those prodigies all remembered Yang Wu in their hearts. This was a formidable opponent, and they were not to provoke him until the very end. At this moment, Yang Wu and the others continued to advance in the direction of Zuu. With the strength of their team, it was enough to deter many beings from approaching. There were pros and cons to this. The cons were that Yang Wu could not easily obtain victory, and the pros were that the team was not in too much danger. Yang Wu was thinking about whether or not he should bring Ziyue along with him to hunt down his opponents after meeting her. However, he was also worried that bringing so many people across the city would scare away his enemies. Saint Master Yang Wu, after we're done here, why don't you bring little man to our Sacred Flame sect? Tuoba Fian looked at Yang Wu and asked. I'm afraid some people won't be able to let go of the misunderstanding between me and your sect. Yang Wu shrugged. Don't worry. With me here, no one will make things difficult for you. Plus, Saint Master Yang Wu, you're an honorable person. You're a top-tier Saint Elder of the Apothecary Alliance. Even our leader would welcome you personally, Tuoba Fian said sincerely. Okay, I'll take little man there when the time comes, Yang Wu promised. Many thanks, young master. The little man looked at Yang Wu gratefully. Silly girl, you are by young master's side. How could young master let you down? Yang Wu said to the little man with a faint smile. Right at this moment, a person riding on a mount quickly rushed over. Everyone looked at that person, and a look of surprise flashed across their eyes. Who would be so bold as to face their group alone? Is Yang Wu here? The man stopped and asked as he approached Yang Wu's group. Yang Wu frowned and said, Who are you? I'm Wenbu heir from the Ming Gang. I'm here on the orders of my leader to give Yang Wu a decree. Please come out and accept it, the man replied. Your leader is so arrogant, Tuoba Fian said unhappily. Kill him. Yang Wu ordered without holding back. The leader of the Ming Gang was Kuan Mingzi. Yang Wu had already listed him as an enemy. A few people came out from Yang Wu's side and wanted to attack Wenbu heir. Wenbu heir said calmly, If you don't care about the lives of your women, then kill me. Someone will die with me anyway. It's worth it. In the next moment, Yang Wu turned into a gust of wind and flew towards Wenbu heir. Before Wenbu heir could react, Yang Wu had already appeared beside him and grabbed his neck. What do you mean by that? If you don't explain yourself, I'll send you to hell right now. Kill me right now if you can. Don't even think about seeing Ziyuyu, Shu Yujun, and Meng Bingxue again. Wenbu heir wasn't afraid of Yang Wu at all. Instantly, Yang Wu's murderous intent surged. When Wenbu heir and his mount felt Yang Wu's murderous aura, fear flashed across their eyes. That mount even fell to the ground on the spot. It was as if he saw a real dragon descending. It was too frightening. Bang! Yang Wu smashed Wenbu heir to the ground and stomped his mount to death. He shouted, If anything happens to my women, you will be cut into pieces. Speak, what is Kuan Mingzi trying to do? Wenbu heir was dizzy from the impact. Before he could get up, Yang Wu stepped on him and said with difficulty, Our chief is waiting for you 20 miles ahead. Only you are allowed to come. If you bring anyone else, they won't be able to keep their lives. He paused and said, If I don't come back in 2 hours, they will die too. Haha. Before Wenbu heir came to see Yang Wu, he gave a military order. Not only did he bring the order, but he also wanted to come back alive. His courage was indeed extraordinary. Yang Wu was livid, but he quickly calmed down. He carefully sensed the jade tags of Yu Yu, Shu Yujun, and Meng Bingxue. He found that Yu Yu and Shu Yujun were indeed close to each other. There was no message from Yu Yu's jade tag. Her jade tag might have been taken away. Scram! Yang Wu shouted and kicked Wenbu Air away. Wenbu Air's body was sent flying. He was heavily injured, but his life was saved. If you don't come back in 2 hours, hee. Wenbu Air dragged his injured body and sneered. He took a pill and quickly left. Yang Wu took a deep breath and looked back at the little man and to Oba Fian. Looks like it will be difficult to take you with me. You really want to go alone? Aren't you afraid of a trap? Tuoba Fian asked. She paused for a bit and said, Do you want us to kill from behind and help you? Even if it is a trap, I still have to go. They are my women, how can I just watch them die? Yang Wu lowered his voice. Young master, I will go with you. Little man said firmly. Yang Wu revealed a faint smile and looked at Little man. Little man, you and Tuoba Feipu go together. Just watch from afar, don't do anything. Don't hurt them. He then looked at the eagle and shouted, Come over here and be my mount. This time, I want to reach the Dragon King's throne. At this moment, Yang Wu was high-spirited and full of vigor. The demeanor of an emperor was unmistakable. The eagle hesitated for a bit and turned back into its original form. It landed in front of Yang Wu. This was a majestic eagle with a golden phoenix crown. Yang Wu jumped onto the back of the golden-crowned eagle and cupped his hands towards the group behind him. This young master will go first. In the next moment, the golden-crowned eagle flew towards Wenbu Air with Yang Wu. Young master, Xiao Man said with a worried expression. Don't worry, Saint Master Yang Wu is strong, nothing will happen. We'll go over slowly and watch Saint Master Yang Wu reach the top. Tuoba Fian comforted Little Man. At this moment, she admired Yang Wu. If a man was willing to do this for her, she would be willing to spend the rest of her life with him. Many people were stationed in front of a barren mountain ridge. They were the Ming Gang, the Fighting League, the Thunder Sect, the Blood Wraiths, and the Five Mountains Sect. There were more than 1,200 of them, and they were an extremely powerful force. The Dragon Phoenix Abyss had been open for a period of time, and all the living beings of the various races had been killing each other. More than 5,000 people of the human race had already fallen, and there were still more than 14,000 people alive. The fact that these people could gather nearly 1/10 of the human race was indeed no small matter. On the mountain ridge, a woman was tied to a rock. Her hair was disheveled, and it was hard to see her face. Her clothes were torn in many places, and it was obvious that she had been abused. There were 2 other women tied up beside her. They were Yu Yu and Shu Yujun. Yu Yu and Shu Yujun were very strong, and they had the imperial edict. Who could take them down so easily? Junior sister Yu Yu, I've wronged you. When this is over, I'll definitely apologize to you. Zihong said to Yu Yu with a guilty expression. Yu Yu closed her eyes and did not speak. She was channeling her energy, thinking of a way to force the dispersing qi powder out of her body, and also to break the seal on her body. Yu Yu did not expect to be betrayed by the people around her, including Shu Yujun. They were both poisoned by the dispersing qi powder, and were unable to gather their celestial qi. Their bodies were also sealed, and they were captured together. All of this was Kuan Mingzi's idea. He was the one who suggested that a few groups gather together, and then lure Yang Wu here. He concluded that Yang Wu had obtained a god's treasury, and used them as bait to lure Yang Wu here, and then kill him. The Fighting League and Blood Ghost had enmity with Yang Wu, and they were willing to cooperate with Kuan Mingzi to kill Yang Wu. After all, everyone had seen how strong Yang Wu was, and they could not let their guard down. The Thunder Sect and Five Mountains Sect did not like Yang Wu, and Kuan Mingzi had also offered to move them. As long as they killed Yang Wu, they could each take 1/3 of the god's treasury on Yang Wu. If they had not seen Yang Wu gain something in the Spirit Formation Passage, they might not have been willing to do this. Yang Wu had come out of the Spirit Formation Passage alive, and he would definitely have a great harvest. To anyone, it was a great temptation. Kuan Mingzi, Zi Hong, Xing Yu, Xie Shaoer, Zhua Shihan, and the others gathered together. They only had one goal, and that was to kill Yang Wu. Kuan Mingzi, is it really worth it for us to make such a big fuss just to deal with Yang Wu? Zhua Shihan asked Kuan Mingzi. Whether it is worth it or not, you should ask Brother Xing and Brother Xie. They know Yang Wu better, Kuan Mingzi replied indifferently. Xie Shaoer said. He has comprehended the way of death, and he has an innate ability to attack. If we don't pay attention to such a person, we might be the ones to die. This person was a monster from the ghost cult. Originally, he was under Shui Wuming, but after Shui Wuming died in the spirit formation passage, he became the leader of the blood ghost cult. Xing Yu also said with a trace of hostility. He is an alchemist and has the sacred flame. We have to be careful. Moreover, he has taken several dragon phoenix fruit. If we kill him, I want one of the dragon phoenix fruit. One of them was originally mine. Not only the dragon phoenix fruit, he might also have an innate warrior weapon, Kuan Mingzi said. Yang Wu is really popular. We have set up an inescapable net. If he dares to come, he will definitely die. Everything he has will belong to us. Oh. Chapter 1103. Following the cry of an eagle, the shadow of an eagle appeared in front of Kuan Mingzi and Zi Hong. Standing on the eagle's shadow was a young man. His long hair and robes fluttered in the wind. He was handsome, like a fairy descending to the mortal world. He attracted the attention of many female prodigies. The tied-up Yu Yu and Shu Yujun saw Yang Wu come alone. Tears flowed from their beautiful eyes. They wanted to ask Yang Wu to leave. Unfortunately, their acupuncture points were sealed, so they couldn't speak. If they escaped, they would return the humiliation they suffered today tenfold. Yang Wu's eyes were sharp. When he saw Yu Yu, Shu Yujun, and Meng Bingxue, who was tied to a rock, his heart burned with anger. You hurt my women. You all deserve to die. Yang Wu shouted. His voice reverberated in the air. Kuan Mingzi was too despicable. He kidnapped his women to threaten him. This person was already on his must-kill list. Right now, the other party must have made preparations and was waiting for him to die. He had to calm down. Only then could he deal with all this. Yang Wu, I said that you were the only one allowed to come. Why did you bring the golden-crowned eagle? Do you want them to die? Kuan Mingzi looked at Yang Wu and said faintly. Kuan Mingzi was able to gather so many prodigies. This meant that he had extraordinary abilities. His voice was mighty, and it struck Yang Wu's heart. All the human prodigies knew about the ferocious reputation of the golden-crowned eagle. It was a spirit demon on the green demon leaderboard and had tore apart many living beings. They did not expect it to be willing to become Yang Wu's mount. So many of you are waiting for me. You won't allow me to bring one more mount? Kuan Mingzi, I didn't expect you to be so afraid of this young master, haha. Yang Wu calmed down and laughed loudly. Haha, I only wanted to watch a good show. Everyone thought that you had died in the passageway, but you're still alive. Thus, everyone wanted to see if you had the ability to kill your way up from below to save people, Kuan Mingzi said with a cold smile. Using a woman's life to threaten me, the reputation of Kunlun Mountain's righteous sect has been completely lost by you. I don't know if the people below you feel ashamed or not. Yang Wu replied disdainfully. Yang Wu, stop trying to win a battle of words. You cultivate the Tao of Death and belong to the King of Hell's palace. No matter what methods we use to deal with you, it's only natural. If you obediently hand over everything you have and kill yourself in front of us, we can let them go. Otherwise, they will wait for you in hell. If they lose even a single hair, I will make you wish you were dead, Yang Wu said coldly as he jumped down from the golden-crowned eagle. He really wanted to fly to the top of the mountain and save the three women, but they were being watched by Kuan Mingzi and the others. He was afraid that they would be in danger before he could reach them. You sure talk big. I think we can start our game now, Xie Xiao Er said from the side. Yeah, let's not drag this out any longer. Let's get rid of him quickly, Lei Bebe said. Kuan Mingzi nodded and said, All right, let's start this game of Saint Hunter. He then said to Yang Wu, if you want to save them, it's very simple. You just have to pass through the checkpoints we set up and you can save them. What checkpoints? Yang Wu asked curiously. There are 3 checkpoints. Every time you pass through one, we will release one person. For the first checkpoint, you have to defeat the creatures in front of you. Only after you pass the first checkpoint will you have the right to know what the second checkpoint is, Kuan Mingzi said. Yang Wu turned his gaze to the front. There were nearly 100 spirit beasts, foreign races, and demons staring at him. These spirit beasts, foreign races, and demons were all captives of the human race. Kuan Mingzi had promised them that once they killed Yang Wu, they would regain their freedom. The strength of these creatures belonged to the lower middle tier of the various races, but with so many of them together, it was not something that anyone could deal with. Moreover, they all had extraordinary offensive talent. If anyone let down their guard, they could lose their lives. Yang Wu raised his head to look at Kuan Mingzi and said, If I defeat them, will you let one of them go? I can let you Xianzi and Miss Shu go. Bingxue is my beloved junior sister. Since you like her so much, you'll naturally let her go last, Kuan Mingzi said with a smile. His words were very vicious. He was deliberately trying to drive a wedge between Yang Wu and the 3 women. This was his goal in setting up this game. No matter who Yang Wu saved first, the women who weren't saved first would feel unbalanced. When the time came, they would hate Yang Wu. Yang Wu wasn't an idiot. He understood Kuan Mingzi's sinister intentions. He took a deep breath and said, All right, you have the final say. If you dare go back on your word, I won't let you go even if you hide to the ends of the earth. Zihong said, Don't worry. I can guarantee that he won't play any tricks for you. Zihong didn't like Kuan Mingzi's methods. She was also a woman. Kuan Mingzi using women to deal with Yang Wu made her very uncomfortable. If it wasn't for the fact that you couldn't be with Yang Wu, she wouldn't have participated in this. At this moment, she felt a bit of regret. Ziyu's talent was shocking. Who knew if she would hate her in the future? Come. Yang Wu took a deep breath and replied. He had no choice but to agree. Even though he believed that no one would dare to kill Ziyu and Shu Yujun, they would at most suffer some grievances. However, Meng Bingxue would most likely meet a tragic end. This was something he had guessed from Kuan Mingzi's ruthless personality. No one wanted their dirty deeds to be exposed. The golden-crowned eagle retreated. He had no reason to accompany Yang Wu to his death. He knew that Yang Wu was very strong, but he didn't think that Yang Wu could kill all these creatures by himself. Kill him and you will be free, Kuan Mingzi ordered. Just as he finished speaking, the 100 or so creatures charged towards Yang Wu. These creatures were all heaven's prides. At the same time, they exploded with powerful energy. A wave of energy covered the sky as it enveloped Yang Wu. They used the most violent and direct method to kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu also made his move. He didn't want the 3 women to suffer any more grievances. He used his wind god's legs to rush over. His eyes looked at the incoming attacks. His body was like a dragon as he passed through the gaps between the attack. If he couldn't get close enough, his black tortoise battle armor would reflect the attacks back. Let's just treat this as a form of training, Yang Wu thought to himself. He raised the Luo water spear and stabbed towards the creature in front of him. Yang Wu didn't use the Luo water spear technique. Instead, he used the Styx River spear technique that his master taught him. When he was in the Heavenly Palace, his master taught him a total of 3 peak minor saint battle technique. They were the 1000 transformation fist, the Styx River spear technique, and the stellar sword technique. Yang Wu was at the peak of the dragon transformation realm. His battle strength was comparable to a saint realm expert. He could use saint battle techniques to kill his enemies. However, he only used minor saint battle technique. The reason was simple. In this place where the xian qi of heaven and earth was thin, he had to use the least amount of xian qi to kill his enemies. Only then could he preserve his strength. If he used saint battle techniques from the start, he would use up a lot of energy. In the end, Kuan Mingzi and the others would definitely have special methods to deal with him. He had to be careful. Moreover, with his current strength, even if he used minor saint battle techniques, it would be enough to kill these creatures. The Styx River Spear technique, the Lua Water Spear technique, and the Reverse Dragon Spear technique were all Water Xian Qi battle technique. No matter which spear technique he practiced, it would improve his usage of the battle spear. Yang Wu had already cultivated the Styx River Spear technique to perfection. It was just that he rarely used it. Now that he had a suitable weapon, he didn't mind going on a killing spree. With a thrust of the spear, it was as if the Styx River of the 9 underworlds had appeared. With a strange aura, it instantly landed in front of the first creature and pierced through its heart. Yang Wu's attack was too fast. Yang Wu couldn't react at all. Moreover, the Lua Water Spear was a peak saint weapon. It could increase Yang Wu's strength. It was reasonable for Yang Wu to kill it so easily. Yang Wu killed one first. He took the initiative and continued to move forward. He charged into the group of creatures. His battle spear danced nonstop. Waves of Styx River energy appeared. Once one was within the range of the Styx River, they would feel like they were sinking into mud. In the blink of an eye, several creatures were killed by Yang Wu. These creatures' chaotic and disorderly attacks seemed incomparably ferocious, but they did not land on Yang Wu at all. A blood-devouring evil demon devoured the bloodline power of the dead creatures and charged toward Yang Wu. It planned to heavily injure Yang Wu by perishing together with him. This was the blood-devouring evil demon's method. It would only lose its blood qi. As long as it had blood qi, it could quickly revive. Yang Wu had killed many blood-devouring evil demons in the past. He saw through the opponent's actions with a single glance. His other hand shot out a finger light. The finger force landed on the blood-devouring evil demon's body like lightning. Bang! The extreme yang lightning power exploded the blood-devouring evil fiend, and the majestic electricity scorched every drop of its blood, turning it into nothingness. As a result, the blood-devouring evil fiend had no chance to resurrect. Behind Yang Wu, a spirit demon bit at the back of Yang Wu's head. It was so fast that it was impossible to guard against it. As if he had eyes on the back of his head, Yang Wu swung his spear back. The end of the spear smashed into the spirit demon's face, shattering its beast teeth and causing blood to gush out. Its body crashed into the other creatures. In front of Yang Wu, there were 5 creatures charging at him. Each of them used a different divine ability. Each divine ability had its own unique effect. Thousand Demon Palm, Poison of Crocodile River, Illusory Mirage. Different divine abilities and different attacks. There was a domineering demonic chi palm force, a corrosive crocodile poison, and a shadow clone technique. All of them fell on Yang Wu. Yang Wu's eyes were like lightning. He took in all of these divine abilities. He chose to retreat in order to advance. The ice wing blade quietly shot out. Puff puff. The ice wing blade was like an invisible death scythe. It slashed through the vital parts of these creatures. Some were cut in half on the spot. Some had their foreheads split open. Some were frozen into ice sculptures. Kill! Yang Wu's eyes turned red. The Tao of Death permeated the air. Chapter 1104. The Tao of Death was a martial art unique to the King of Hell's palace. Other humans rarely cultivated it. Even if they were lucky enough to cultivate the Tao of Death, they would join the King of Hell's palace. If they did not join the King of Hell's palace, they would be slaughtered by the other righteous sections. Cultivating the Tao of Death was considered to be something that went against the heavens. A martial art that could only be condensed by absorbing the aura of death was extremely vicious. Look, Yang Wu is really from the King of Hell's palace. His Tao of Death has already reached a higher level. Xing Yu pointed at Yang Wu and said faintly to the people beside him. Kuan Mingzi nodded lightly and said, "That's right. This kind of person must be eliminated quickly." Zihong came to Ziyu Yu's side and said, "Junior sister, you saw it too. He is from the King of Hell's palace. It is impossible for you to be together with him. You should give up." Lei Beibei also said, "With junior sister's beauty, which man in the world would not be moved? Brother Mingzi fell in love with you at first sight. Our Purple Firmament Palace has a good relationship with Kunlun. I think you two can be together." Ziyu Yu could not speak. The angry expression on her face was enough to express her feelings. Not far away, Ziqilan wanted to save her but could not. The moment Ziqilan made a move, they would kill Ziyu Yu. In the Dragon Phoenix Abyss, it was normal for anyone to die. This was the battlefield of life and death for the younger generation. Zuoshihan also said beside Shuyujun, "Shuyujun, you saw it. It is not worth damaging the reputation of our Five Mountains sect for such a person." Shuyujun glared at Zuoshihan. Her beautiful eyes were about to burst into flames. She swore in her heart, "In the next Five Mountains battle, I will definitely obtain the sect master's token and trample Mount Song under my feet. I will avenge Marshall." Below, Yang Wu was crazily attacking. His battle strength was too strong. Wherever the spear light that contained the Tao of Death went, there would be living beings that were killed on the spot. Not many of the attacks landed on him. Only a few of them caught him off guard and he couldn't dodge them, but they were all blocked by the armor on his body. They couldn't do any damage to him. The way of death could deprive living beings of their vitality and the power of their souls. No matter what methods the living beings used, they could not prevent the way of death from entering their bodies. In next to no time, a pile of corpses appeared on the ground. Severed limbs were scattered all over the ground while dripping blood converged into a river, and it was like a blood-red hell. Yang Wu's holy spear was stained with blood, but his body was untainted. His combat strength was still exuberant. "I don't believe you can't be killed." A creature roared and swung his hammer at Yang Wu. Another creature used the method of binding, trapping Yang Wu on the spot, assisting the creature in killing Yang Wu. Yang Wu's movement was hindered. He raised his head and looked at the hammer that was as big as a mountain falling down. He allowed it to smash on the black tortoise's armor. The force of energy dissipated, and the creature's direction was shifted by the force of energy dissipation. Yang Wu waved his hand and thrust his spear at the creature's throat, killing it instantly. The living beings around Yang Wu tried their best to kill him. Their eyes were bloodshot. If it wasn't Yang Wu who died, it would be them. Most of them were high-grade minor saints, and a few of them were mid-grade minor saints. With such strength, they were like lambs in front of Yang Wu. They couldn't even withstand a single blow. There were only a dozen peak minor saints. To Yang Wu, it was difficult for them to pose a threat. Yang Wu's killing ability wasn't only because of the Tao of Death, it was also because of his rich combat experience. Once he attacked, he would kill his enemies without any hesitation. He was very familiar with the River Styx spear art. Gradually, he made up for the last imperfection of the spear art, displaying the powerful might of the spear art. It was not inferior to an ordinary saint technique. After Yang Wu killed the last creature, he passed the first test. At this moment, the number on the jade plate was jumping. His ranking was rising steadily and he was now in the top 3. Yang Wu, 413 victories. If it weren't for the fact that the Great Palace Lord and Jiang Ping had also won more than 400 battles, Yang Wu would have been able to reach the Sovereign Realm with this battle. Although these creatures were defeated by Kuan Mingzi and the others, they weren't killed. Their jade plates were still with them. If Yang Wu defeated them again, he would still be able to get the record. However, he couldn't get the jade plates of these creatures. They disappeared automatically. After all, they weren't humans. The geniuses who were watching the battle were shocked. They felt that Yang Wu's combat strength was indeed abnormal. After this battle, everyone felt that Yang Wu had exhausted a lot of his energy. The second test would be difficult. The premise was that Yang Wu wouldn't be given time to recover. Sure enough, Kunming-zi ordered, Yang Wu, within 10 breaths, you can choose to release one person, and then proceed to the second trial. Of course, you can also give up on the second trial and leave with the woman you like the most. We guarantee that we will not stop you. Choose to release one person within 10 breaths. Between Ziyu and Shuyujun, who was more important in Yang Wu's heart? Ziyu was Yang Wu's partner since he was young. The two of them were officially married. Shuyujun had gone through thick and thin with him. She never left him. This kind of true love was precious. No matter what choice Yang Wu made, the other person would definitely be hurt. 10, 9, 8. Kunming-zi proudly started counting. His goal was to disturb Yang Wu's mental state and not give Yang Wu any time to recover his celestial qi. Yang Wu was indeed very conflicted. He clenched his fists, and his eyes were about to spit fire. At this moment, Tuoba Fian and the little man's group also arrived nearby. They didn't come close, but they could see what was happening. These people are really despicable. The kind-hearted little man couldn't help but curse. She then patted Little Hay in her arms and said, Little Hay, hurry up and go help young master, okay? Let that brat deal with this himself. If he can't even deal with this, how can he be of any use in the future? Little Hay replied, I'm asking you to help young master save someone at a critical moment. Can't you even do that? Little man said somewhat anxiously. Sure, why not? However, this immortal emperor has a condition. Tell me what you want. As long as I can do it, I will definitely do it. After this matter is over, you just have to double your cultivation. 3 breaths left. Have you made your decision? Kunming-zi's voice rang out. The people around him all sneered. They seemed to be very happy to see Yang Wu's conflicted expression. This was especially true for people like Xing Yu and Xie Xiaoer, who were hostile towards Yang Wu. 3, 2. Release Yujun. Yang Wu gritted his teeth and finally made up his mind. When he shouted Shu Yujun's name, his gaze was fixed on Yu Yu. Ziyu was also looking at him. Although the two of them were very far apart, their eyesight was not something ordinary people could compare to. They could both feel the feelings transmitted between them. They had grown up together. They were very clear about what each other was thinking. Ziyu did not blame Yang Wu. She could understand why Yang Wu had chosen Shu Yujun first. This was because Shu Yujun's position in the Five Mountains sect was not as important as her position in the Purple Firmament Palace. If either of them faced the danger of being killed, then Shu Yujun's danger level would be higher. When Yang Wu saw that Ziyu was looking at him, his heart calmed down. He thought to himself, Slug, you must understand me, right? Zhou Shihan, who was beside Shu Yujun, did not expect that Yang Wu would choose Shu Yujun first. His face was filled with dissatisfaction. He had wanted to take this opportunity to kill Shu Yujun. She was looking down on him too much. Kunming-zi clapped and laughed. I thought the person you liked the most was Yu Xianzi. I didn't expect it to be junior sister Shu. Let her go. After a pause, he looked at Ziyu and said, Junior sister Yu, as you can see, Yang Wu does not love you that much. He loves junior sister Yu more. If you agree to be with me, I promise that I will only love you for the rest of my life. I will definitely not be as fickle as he is. Ziyu acted as if she did not hear Kunming-zi's words. Her gaze remained fixed on Yang Wu. She silently felt sorry for Yang Wu. You must have been in a lot of pain when you made your choice. Kunming-zi was infuriated. He shouted, The second stage is the 1,000-man array. Kill him. Yes, sect master. Someone below responded. He raised a sacred map in his hand. Rays of light floated. 1,000 people swept towards the location where the light shone. Soon, they set up a 1,000-man array. The sacred map hovering in midair was a sacred map. It was also the eye of the array. The 1,000 people below stood in the area enveloped by the sacred map, forming a killing array. Its power was boundless. Before this, Lu Ji's array could kill dozens of prodigies by himself. However, the 1,000-man array before them could go against the flow and slaughter Saint Stage creatures. They could even kill mid-level Saint Stage creatures. The sacred map was Kuan Mingzi's trump card. He had used it at this moment. It was clear that he did not want to let Yang Wu pass the second stage. Yang Wu could feel the power of the 1,000-man array. He took a deep breath and felt a little more pressure in his heart. However, he still walked towards the 1,000-man array step by step. Young master, little man looked at Yang Wu's determined back and called out softly. She wanted to fly over and replace Yang Wu. Yang Wu, it's not too late for you to surrender now. As long as you hand over a strand of your soul, I'll let you live. Otherwise, you'll definitely die if you walk into the 1,000-man array. Haha, Kuan Mingzi said proudly. Brother Mingzi, why don't you hand him over to the Xing clan? You can have the reward from the bounty list. What do you think? Xing Yu suggested. That's a good suggestion. Let's see if he agrees first. Kuan Mingzi nodded. Shu Yujun was released. However, her body was still weak. She scolded the people around her. You despicable people will not have a good ending in the future. Then, she staggered down the mountain. If anything happened to Yang Wu, she did not want to live anymore. Beautiful military advisor, if you were here, you would be able to see how easily I break the array that you're so proud of.